not a scream. It's not a celebratory scream there. That was a guttural yell in pain. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. It is, contrary to what you might believe, it is great to be here this morning. It's great to be alive. Great to live in San Diego. And, things are fine. They're fine. Everything is good. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great, buddy. I got Ben Higgins to my left. And Benjamin, how are you, bud?
I'm all right. I'm
purple. Great to be alive.
Fighting
it.
Fighting an internal battle with a press box hot dog from yesterday, I think.
Does that mean you need to poop?
No, I wish I could. Honestly, just it's still it's a state of flux right now. We're not sure which direction it's going to go.
Reflux?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, nothing's
Tums?
nothing's really. I don't know
what.
It'll
make you feel better. You have a sour stomach.
Yeah,
you have a sour stomach. Yeah. Now I've given you many drugs before. I gave you Advil once. It got you loopy. I gave you NyQuil. No, I gave you Alka-Seltzer, and that was like giving you bath salt. And you were
what flavor is
that?
Is
wintergreen.
Ugh, hate wintergreen.
Hey, sucks to suck, man. Better than a sour belly. So that'll just soothe your tummy.
Okay.
Yeah, I dipped those in PCP too, so enjoy the ride.
It was in a sealed little package. Looked very reputable.
Remember this? That was one of the best days, man. That's
like some special street version of Alka-Seltzer.
Now he slowed that down eventually,
right?
But he was like
effed up.
He really was, man.
I wonder if Darnay and Julian and Jake are going through the same thing, because we all sat together and we all had a hot dog at the same time.
Now, did
I get the wrong one?
I mean,
did I put the wrong toppings on it? Onions, jalapenos. Maybe that was a mistake.
Oh God, dude. Yeah. What are you surprised about right now?
It just looks so good. Just you're in the middle of the game.
It looks good, but you got to know better.
Look good. Probably a bad decision. I don't make a lot of bad decisions.
That's true.
You
make plenty. I mean, everybody makes plenty.
Bad decision.
Well, I mean, everybody makes bad decisions. You're not above a bad decision, my friend.
Swinging on a 3-0 pitch.
Believe you me.
Swinging the process. The first pitch. Bad decision or not? I imagine we'll be talking about it today.
Listen,
good decisions versus bad decisions.
Listen, if you eat that hot dog with jalapenos and onions and nobody is none the wiser and your belly feels fine, then fine. Your process was right.
I mean, I don't necessarily want some radio show talking about my bad decision all morning about the press box hot dog that I ate, the process that I went through. What were you thinking? You go up there, it's just been sitting out there.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, why would you make that decision in that situation? Game's on the line, and you choose to eat a press box hot dog, and not only that, but you put onions and jalapenos on it at the same time. That's just not good baseball watching, Ben. Everyone should know better than that.
Let me tell you, though, this is something I'm qualified to speak on. I can speak on a hot dog, right? Yeah, I've never worked for a hot dog company, but I can speak on hot dogs. You can speak on hot dogs, Ben. Paulie, you can speak on hot dogs. We finally found something that this morning's show is qualified to talk about. Hot dogs.
Sausages.
I had one yesterday as well, and so did my son, Bo. This drove me nuts. I hope it's his first day of summer. He's probably sleeping in. This kid, we go to the game. It was awesome. Awesome. Like, we got down there about an hour early and walking around, just a great scene. Said hello to some tier ones. And I go, what do you want to eat? He goes, hot dog. I go, all right, let's go. Get a hot dog. He gets a hot dog, get a soda, and we go to eat our hot dog. He eats about 3 bites of it. And that's the big wieners, man. It's the Fryer Franks that got that extra wiener hanging on the side, which drives me
over the end. Yeah, no, I want
it flush.
I want a perfect bun and wiener ratio.
But the bun to wiener ratio needs to be the bun 6 inches. I'll take the wiener at 5. It literally in a 6-inch bun, 100%.
You see these pictures of the extravagant ballpark dogs, and they're like 2 feet long. There's like 12 inches of wiener just hanging out on either side of the bun.
It looks like a giraffe wiener.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do with this?
What am I going to do? I got to eat this raw? So he eats about 4 bites of it, and then he starts working on his baseball swing right there in the concourse. I'm like, all right, squish the bug, dude. Keep squishing.
Keep getting that work in.
Get that work in. So I look down, I go, you done? He goes, yeah, I'm done. I go, All right. You ate like 3 bites. And I'm not going to be the dad. It's like, you stay here until you eat that whole hot dog. I go, all right, you're done. You're done. Throw it away. Suck. Oh, actually, I had an extra bite myself. Then threw it away. Yeah. I didn't crush the one and a half. Right. Yeah. So I had an extra bite. It was cold by that time, so I tossed it. So we go down to the seats. Man, great seats. It just had a great time. About 2 innings in, he looks at me. He goes, I'm hungry. I go, you son of a... I go, we're here. We got our drinks. We're in our seats. Now, I go, you had a whole... And then I started thinking about my dad, right? And I started thinking about old dads that are like... I started thinking about Adam. What would Adam say if his kid Ethan goes, Dad, I'm hungry? Adam would have gone... So I go, all right, man. It was a battle in my head. It was the angel and the devil. And I go, okay, what can I get for you? And he goes, I don't know. So I go, all right, let's go take a walk. So we start walking again. Now the game's going on, and I hear crack, and I don't know who's yelling. There's a lot of Dodger fans there. I don't know what's happening. I can hear a little bit over the loudspeaker. So we walk down to one row, and then we walk down to Grand Hole. And I go, all right, bro. We stopped in the concourse, and I got down to his face. I go, what do you want? I will get you anything you want to eat. Anything. You tell me. He looks at me and goes, chips. And I go, all right, we'll find some chips. I go, how about these chips? He goes, I don't like those. They're the Flamin' Hot Doritos and Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I go, fair enough.
Chips, surprisingly, one of the more difficult things to find at a ballpark.
Right?
Surprisingly.
So they had the little, they have like the little lemonade. It's such a secret. Yeah. Like you want a hot dog and a lemonade, boom, you're in and out. Yeah. Popcorn, it's great. But they only had the Flamin' Hots. They only had the Flamin' Hots. So we had to go to the ballpark eats. The line was 65 deep. And I looked at him, I go, buddy, you want to wait this long for chips? He goes, fine, no. And then he pouts. So we walk Seaside Market. We walk into Seaside Market.
That's what I was thinking.
Find the chips. We get in and out, and he crushes the chips. And he was fine, and then he was good after that.
What did he go, Lay's?
He went with the cheddar sour cream Ruffles. Ruffles is his favorite. And
solid move.
Solid.
No, it's good
always
choice.
A great choice. But yeah, man, it was. So we ended up staying till about middle of the 6th because we wanted to go down. My father-in-law was down. He's a Dodger fan. He was down there. So we went down to say hello to him and then wanted to get back, got home and listen to the rest of the game on the radio and watch the rest on TV when we got home. But it was a great day despite the final score. Anytime you get to go to a ball game with your son, it's a really, really fun time.
Do want to say hello this morning to a very special Tier 1 who I ran into yesterday after the game. Tier 1 Joe. It was a nice conversation I had. In the Padres clubhouse as he was getting dressed and getting ready to go on the trip.
Tier 1 Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Musgrove.
That would be Joe Musgrove.
He used to live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's
and maybe
the one.
Houston before that.
That's the one. I saw him, so I had to tell him the story of Tom Fordham yesterday.
Yes, Tom Fordham. We got a lot of good response on that.
So I missed the show yesterday. It was Big League Wednesday, but Paulie had a bunch of irons in the fire. They had all fallen through. We had no big leaguer for Big League Wednesday. So I threw out a very random challenge out there. I said, hey, if there's a big leaguer, former big leaguer, I don't care how long you spent in the big leagues, you're a Tier 1 or you're a Tier 1 who knows a big leaguer, give us a call. I throw out the number. And we had a couple of people call in and say, oh, yeah, no, I know he listens to the show. We'll have him call in. So we ended up getting Tom Fordham, who is now the facilities manager at Grossmont High School and has been there for like 20 years. And I said, so Tom calls in. I tell Joe this story. I said, Tom calls in, tells us about his one win in Major League Baseball over Randy Johnson, his one at-bat, which came 6 years after his previous at-bat at Granite Hills when he had his last high school game. And Joe said, oh, yeah, Tom's great. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm sorry I missed it. I listen to you almost every morning as I'm driving in. And
you don't have
really
to
enjoy your show. And it's great. And he said,
is that just something he said?
We talked about Paulie, and he said, I didn't remember that Paulie had been the freshman coach. I just missed him, right? It was right after I had left that Paulie came and was the freshman coach at Grossmont. I said, yeah. He said, oh, that's so cool. And he says, yeah, I listen all the time. So shout out to Tier 1 Joe.
You don't have to, Joe. It's fine. It's fine. Man, that was such a good idea by Benny yesterday. And I thought it was awesome. And we got so much good feedback on that. Like it was so irreverent and just off the cuff and can't plan things like that. I love that. I love being able to do that. It's great to have a guest already booked. You don't have to worry about it, but that was fun. And my wife this morning said, she says, I love that. That Tom Fordham guy was fantastic. I go, not only is it like a cool bit to have a guy call in, I said, when the guy calls in, he happens to be like a world-class interviewee. It makes our job so easy. Like, how we doing, fellas? Let me tell you about my first night in the big leagues. I'm like, this guy's fantastic. Does he want to co-host this show with us? Because he was really, really good. I had such an embarrassing moment yesterday, you guys. Embarrassing. Touching, but embarrassing. Standing there, as I mentioned, eating the hot dog. And I had a tier 1 come up to me as well. I'm going to pull up. I got the sweetest email from her last night. Her name was Karen. And Karen walks up and she is like, will you sign my hat? And I said, sure. And Bo was right there and he just laughs. And she goes, do you have a Sharpie on you? I go, contrary to what people might think, I do not carry a Sharpie around on me. It would be a little bit presumptuous.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would. And I don't think it would.
It could be useful at times,
sure.
But just the fact that you pull, oh, yes, I absolutely do have a Sharpie
hang on. I actually have a headshot right here. Here you go.
That's a statement that you are making about, well, the fact that you need a Sharpie at all times.
Get in the car and honey, did you got my Sharpie?
Did you get my Sharpie?
What if somebody comes up to me?
So she asked me to sign it, and I said, absolutely. I said, I don't have a Sharpie or a pen. And she goes, are you going to be here? I go, yeah, we're eating our hot dogs. Well, I am. He's going to eat half of his, and I'll be here. So she walks up. She runs around. Her husband's standing there waiting, and she goes and gets a Sharpie and comes back and gets me a hat. And I go, who are these signatures? And she goes, Mud and Don. I go, I don't want to sign this, Mud and Don, and ruin your hat. She goes, no, I want to get all you guys. I go, all right. So I signed it. And she looks at me and she's like, I love you guys. You guys have gotten me through a really tough couple of years. And I said, thank you. I said, I love to hear that. And she said, and she looked at Bo and she goes, I loved your father-in-law too. And I got teared up and I was like, that's his namesake. So I'm standing there, I get a little misty-eyed and I'm like, whew. And now I'm like crying at the ballpark in front of a tier 1. So I have literally tears in my eyes and I start wiping them away. And I look to my left and there's 2 girls with their phone. They're like, Woodsy, can we take a picture with you? And I'm like, and I'm standing there. I'm like, hang on, man. So then one of the girls goes, hang on, will you say hi? Will you say hi to my husband or boyfriend? And she's got him on FaceTime. This dude is in a welding helmet. His helmet is off. He's got a welding gun in his hand. And here's me. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. And I go, thanks for listening. Thanks so much for listening, bro. And he's like, what's up, Woodsy? Hell yeah. And he's literally, his helmet, the welding helmet is up.
He's like, oh, are you the guy that complains about working 4 hours a day?
So I go, oh, look at this guy doing real work. And I was like, tears are in my eyes because I'm upset.
Yeah, here you guys at 6 a.m. It's my lunch hour.
I don't know if there's any profession that screams real work.
Welder.
To me, at least more than welding.
Welder. Construction. And here I am at the ballpark at what? Noon, and I'm weeping.
Metal and forging it together right in front of you.
Bro,
I mean, come on.
I swear to God.
Oh, man.
So then I'm looking at the girls and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I got emotional. It's my son's last day of first grade and my father-in-law, and it's his namesake. And I just got emotional. And so I wipe my eyes and I take the picture with the tier 1s. Alex in the chat says I'm a pansy. I'll wear it. I absolutely am. 100%. You got it. No question about it, man. I'm an emotional. I've been
somewhat fubsy pansy.
Yeah, no, I'm less fubsy than I used to be,
fine.
but I mean, I don't know if I go so far to call me squat and fat right now. I think that's kind of piling on in this moment.
All right.
You're dumb.
Hey, you're also don't forget stupid as well.
Uncoordinated. You dress poorly.
Alex says, and pitiful, she needs a show to get her through something. Alex, her son committed suicide and she lost her father. So she's had a tough year. And
now do you feel bad, Alex?
Which is what I want to happen.
Yeah.
I want Alex to be shamed so much that he gets off the internet literally forever. Just get off the internet. You don't belong, dude. You don't belong here, pal. So yeah, that's why we had helped get her through the last couple of years. And she said, I love when you talk about, mental health because so many people need a place to go and talk about it. And I said, absolutely. So that's why, yes, I'm a giant pansy, and it was really special. She's really special and wrote me the nicest email last night. So it was an embarrassing moment. Like to go to the FaceTime and have the dude literally like yank up his helmet and sit there and be like, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Hey man, how are you? Hang on real quick. Yeah, I'll take a picture for you." It was incredible.
Apparently we have a few tier 1 welders. Padres Nate says, "I'm a welder about to take my butt into work now. Love you guys."
You are
the welding that's going on right now must be.
That was David. Look, that's David. That was me. I'm the welder. Hi, David. What up? He's a badass dude. I mean, he had like, bro, he'd have like, like it looked like he'd been grinding all day long. And it was just so cool. He wanted to say hi to me. And I'm like, bro, I want to come to your work and say hi to you and be like, hey, how do you do that? I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's cool.
It
like
looks settling, or what are they?
It looks
torch
cool,
that they use.
Like the helmet that they wear and like the. I don't know. Is there anything manlier than a welder? I just don't know. I don't know.
Lumberjack.
But do they have a need for? Are there real lumberjacks still?
Yeah, someone has to cut down trees.
Well, there's machines. Nobody's out there like with one axe.
But they probably have to.
They're still lumberjacks.
Some sort of axing is involved, I would assume.
Shelly says iron workers are hot. I believe it.
Literally.
I believe it. I would like to weld something one time.
Yeah, I was trying to think
back
in shop class.
Is there a fantasy camp we can go to?
Fantasy camp for welders.
We should have a real man's fantasy camp for guys like us that are loads and we don't do real man stuff. Like we change a tire.
You get nothing but black coffee and
like,
glass of raw eggs for breakfast.
If these dudes saw my coffee every day, they would mock me mercilessly. It's like white almost with cream and sugar. So anyway, it was a really special. Karen, I love you. That was so kind of you.
Did you have shop class at your high school?
Yeah,
did. You take it?
I did okay, actually.
You did.
Yeah,
we did. I didn't have shop class.
We did.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. We did
cutting board.
The cutting board, and I was okay with like the saw and like a couple of the different saws. It's scary, those real thin blade saws, and you putting the wood through. I liked it when I was a little kid, like 7, 8. All I wanted to do was hammer nails. I mean, I would just go in the backyard and just wham. My grandpa made me a block and he would give me nails and a hammer, which I think about Bo in the backyard, my age, just hammering nails. I'd smash my thumb, the whole bit. I thought I would end up being more manly, but comfort got in the way for sure.
All right, we have a lot to get to. We will set the menu for a Thursday edition of Ben and Woods. Of course, we're going all the way until 11 o'clock with the roundtable this morning from 10 to 11. Let you know what we've got, obviously starting with a bunch of Padres talk right after a check of traffic here with Kelly Danick on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This traffic report is driven by Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa, wishing all dads and grads a great June. Good morning. Starting things off with a couple of problems on the coastline. Northbound 5 at the fairground, stalled vehicle in the HOV lane. And we got a crash on southbound 5 past Delmar Heights Road. Looks like one vehicle in middle lanes, the other over to the right shoulder. Dads, grads, and serious savings only at Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Get the F-150 STX Super Crew Cab for $299 a month. Or how about the Bronco Big Bend for $271 a month? For more details on these offers, visit local and veteran-owned SedanoFord.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Padres dropped 2 of 3 to the LA Dodgers. And, of course, there were a number of different decisions and pivot points in the game yesterday that we'll talk about. Get our Padres crap up coming up in our next segment. First off day in 2 weeks for your San Diego Padres. That was the stretch of 13 games.
Okay,
the first one, 7-6.
All right.
13 games, 13 days. They won
right.
7. They lost 6. Now they've got another stretch of 13 in a row starting tomorrow with the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3 in Arizona and then 4 in Los Angeles before they come back home.
Would the kids call 7-6 mid? Are we a mid
Mid?
team? Is a mid in baseball? Is that being 500? I think mid in baseball means a little bit better than 5. Well,
no, I think a
little bit worse than 500. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we said at the beginning of the stretch, you need to tread water. And they're treading water. They have treaded the water. Unfortunately, you feel like a few of those 6 are games the Padres absolutely could have won. I mean, absolutely could have taken 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4, maybe even 5 of those 6 games. Now, they could have also lost a few of those 7 games over the course of the 13. That's because they play a lot of close games. And while yesterday ended up being a 3-run game, which is pretty much a blowout when it comes to Padres games of late, there were a lot of opportunities for the Padres to not only sneak out a couple of more runs, but have some big innings. And we'll talk about the 2nd inning, the 7th inning. We'll talk about Mike Schilt's decisions on Randy Vasquez and the pitching staff. We'll get to all of that coming up in our next segment. Of course, it is also a Smart Baseball Thursday. We will be joined by our friend Eno Sarris from The Athletic. That's kind of in the second half of the program. We will check in with in-season Sammy Levitt. Sam, obviously, he's been very busy. I'm very pleased that he is taking the roundtable off today.
He is.
But he is going to be with us this morning at 7:35 to wrap up the Dodgers series.
So they gave him the day off of the round. Why aren't we giving him the day off
I
of Ben
offered.
and Woods? You did?
Yeah.
All right, good. I don't want to be.
It's a different thing to zoom in as
That's
opposed to coming in
down
for the
here.
whole, rigmarole of the.
He likes
of the-
jumping on with us.
Yeah, so we will talk to
All
Sammy Levitt in our 7:30 segment. And yesterday, if you'll remember, we had a bunch of tickets to give away, and I waited until the end of the show and crammed them all in. Paulie does not like that. I was irresponsible, so we're going to give some tickets away early today. In fact, we're going to give away our first pair of tickets right now. Let's start with our latest pair of tickets to go see George Lopez coming to the Civic Theater on June 21st. You can get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com, courtesy of Outback Presents. But if you want to be an early Tier 1 ticket winner, call now 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Fifth caller is going to take our first pair of tickets today. We also have more Padres tickets. We've got more tickets to the Scotty McCreery KSON show that John told us about coming to Front Wave Arena, and we'll play some Take on Woods. Actually, it's a Real or Fake Thursday. It's a Throwback Thursday, so we'll do that as well. It's all coming up, but let's get into our Padres crap up, get the highlights, and start what will be a very interesting discussion on yesterday's 5-2 loss to the LA Dodgers. You ready to go?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Stephen Woods, Paulie Reindl, I'm Ben Higgins. Tier 1's good Thursday morning to you. We'll be right back with more on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Meanwhile, if you're looking for something to do on this off day for the team, you don't have a game to watch, head down to 7 Mile Casino. Create your own game. Sit down at one of their fantastic Texas Hold'em tables. Play some California-style blackjack, baccarat, or pie gout. If you're a high-limit player, you really should be playing at 7 Mile Casino. They love taking care of their players. They're spreading big action, good games. And if you're just out there for fun, you can do that as well. They've got something for everybody.
You just sold me when you said they're spreading big action. I am all in on a place that spreads big action. 7 Mile Casino will certainly do that for you. Love sitting down to the at the California style blackjack table. I still need to learn the intricacies of pie gow and what's the other one? Baccarat. It looks so appealing to me. Texas Hold'em, I like. Need the hours in the day to do it. It's fun, man. But they're open 24/7. So if you got some time, they would love to have you in and treat you.
Yeah, enjoy a great meal at Sammy's at 7 Mile. It's one of the only places where you can get 24/7 service. They got food all day long. The 24/7 players menu, fantastic. Enjoy it in the restaurant, on the patio. It is 7 Mile Casino, just down the 5 freeway in Chula Vista, 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
You do know that I will be keeping my eye at least on the leaderboard at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and I won't inundate you all morning long. It's very early in the tournament, but I thought I should mention that San Diego State's J.J. Spahn is 4 under through 8 holes and leading by 2 over Rory McIlroy.
There you go.
At the U.S. Open in the very, very early stages.
Yes.
And the course is going to play tough.
Gets harder.
But first 9 has gone very well for San Diego State's J.J. Spahn at Oakmont in Pennsylvania.
I'd say so.
We're not here to talk golf. We're here to talk about the Padres and specifically what happened yesterday at Petco Park against the L.A. Dodgers. It had to be one of the more frustrating games, I think, of the season.
Yeah.
If you're a Padres fan or
Yes.
and a Padres player, honestly, that was one that you had opportunities, multiple opportunities to score. 6 walks. Padres drew 6 walks. You know how many of those guys came around to score?
0.
None of them. Not a single one of them came around to score. That if you're not punishing the other team for walking 6 batters, they feel like they got away with something, right? If you're the Dodgers and you're the Dodgers pitching staff and you walked 6 and not one of them came around to score, you feel like you stole something. And I think the Dodgers do feel like they stole the series against the San Diego Padres. The way it played out with the Padres obliterating the Dodgers in the second game, but the Dodgers winning both of the close games. That's a come in on the road, steal a series kind of mentality.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it was a good series. It was a hard fought series. It was, it's never boring against those guys, never boring. And I know it used to be. That's the other thing. And
it's a little boring when Kike Hernandez is pitching.
Right. But you're on the winning side of that. So I'll take an 11-1 dub every single day. That said, these two teams, and I'm sure that Padre fans out there watched some of, I did not watch the whole thing, but I watched the clips that I saw online of Jackson Merrill talking to Mookie Betts on his podcast, right? You guys see that?
I did.
Did you guys watch it?
I didn't watch it, but
Just a couple clips.
Couple clips, yeah. I saw a couple clips, and they were talking about how kind of evenly matched these teams are. And I know Padre fans don't believe it because you look at the rosters and you go, there's no way. But look, there's no close doesn't count unless it's horseshoes and hand grenades. Like it doesn't, you didn't get the job done, and you had every opportunity to get the job done, and you lost the series at home. So close, we battled them tough. Doesn't really do anything for me today. But you look at it and you go, these were 3 good games. Well, I mean, 2 good games, and you lost those close games, Ben. It's kind of a bummer. You just want to see the Padres have the ability to put their foot on a team's throat, and they had ample opportunity to do that yesterday.
Started in the second inning, and you felt like there was a real chance to grab the game by the throat.
Yeah.
And really dictate the course of action for the rest of the afternoon. It didn't happen. We'll start there with our Padres Wrap-Up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Getting a little busy for us already, especially on the coastline, southbound 5 past Del Mar Heights Road. Crash involving a couple vehicles. Looks like one might still be in middle lanes. The other over to the right shoulder. And tow truck just got a stalled vehicle out of the HOV lane, northbound 5 near the fairgrounds. Collision on northbound 125 at the East 8 connector ramp. It's got the left lane blocked, and watch out for some debris on the roadway. Tow truck rolling up to help out with that. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened?
Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres
Wrap-Up.
presented by Hamul Casino. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
3 balls and a strike. Maldonado takes outside ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued with 2 outs here in the second inning. And this one will bring Bogarts home. The first run of the day, it's 1-0 Padres. And Conforto goes after the first pitch. Hits it high and deep to left center field. Merrill is back at the wall, looking up. It's going to go. Home run for Michael Conforto to tie the game. His 4th as a Dodger. And a fan out there trying to make a catch of that home run ball. Kind of tumbled forward onto that platform behind the left field fence. Conforto getting ready to hit the dish. And we are 1-1 here in the 5th. 2-1 the pitch. Hernandez swings, sends it in the air to deep center field. Jackson Merrill's back. He is at the wall. He will watch, and it will go. A 3-run homer for Teoscar Hernandez. His 11th of the year. And the Dodgers lead for the first time today. It's 4-1. Merrill at first, Machado at third, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Sheets swings, sends it in the air, high and deep to right center field. Playable, though. Pages into the gap. Machado tagging at third. He makes the catch. Manny will come in to score. A sac fly for Gavin Sheets. And now 4-2 here in the 6th. Here's the 3-0 to Manny. He swings, grounds it sharply to the left side. Betts backhands it. Long throw to first base. Reached for by Freeman in time. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits. And the Padres leave them loaded. 2-1. And Smith hits it sharply on the ground through the right side and into right field, a base hit. Ohtani can basically walk home. It's an RBI single for Will Smith. And the Dodger lead is now 5-2.
I thought he was good. I thought he was really good. I thought he did his job. I thought he got us to a point in the game where we were happy with. We had a rested bullpen. We had guys that we really liked, and that was pretty clean. Conforto got him, but I thought he was great.
All right. Yes, I'll be very clear. I had less than 0 problem with Mike Schill taking Randy Vasquez out there.
All right, well,
less than 0.
Let's go through it, because baseball, like most sports, game of execution, athleticism, but ultimately also it's a game of decisions. And not every decision that works out is correct, and not every decision that doesn't work out is incorrect, because it also has to combine with execution. But let's talk about the decisions of this game, starting in the second inning. Scoreless game. Dodgers, of course, going with the opener, Ben Kasparius. I mean, Dave Roberts, playing, fast and loose with his starting pitching assignments, and just like it's a postseason game, essentially. I mean, it was going to be Justin Robleski, and then yesterday morning, all of a sudden, it was Ben Kasparius, but Justin Robleski is going to be the bulk guy.
Didn't see it.
And then when the game's played, you never see Justin Robleski at all. Now, Mike Schilt doesn't.
He didn't really care.
Lineup was the lineup, and I don't think it makes a huge difference. Got to face who you're going to face. But, the Kasparius gets through the first inning, no problem. And we get to the second inning. Randy Vasquez looks good. And the Padres, all of a sudden, 1 out, single by Sheets, single by Bogarts. And now Jake Cronenworth singles to center. First decision of the game, first big decision, belongs to
Tim Leeper,
third base coach Tim Leeper. Do you send Gavin Sheets home on that single to center or not? Now, does he think, there's a lot of calculus that goes into this decision. You just gave up couples, there's 1 out. You can leave the guy at third, and you've got a chance to bring him home still with a sac fly. Don't want to risk the out and, undo a big inning, but you also have the bottom of your lineup coming up after that. And
would have been
hasn't been great. Iglesias Maldonado still coming up. So this is a chance to score early, get a run on the board, sends him. Takes a pretty good throw and a really nice play by Will Smith to get Gavin Sheets by, a hair at home plate. He's out.
He's really slow. I was watching that materialize.
He's not fast.
I had the best view of it, and I was like,
was that a bad decision or a decent decision that didn't work out?
50-50.
Whatever. It kind of
coin flip.
So, if he had known that all of a sudden Ben Kasparius was going to lose the plate after that, walking Jose Iglesias and then walking Martin Maldonado to force in a run, then you look back and go, man, if he had just left Gavin Sheets at third, now you get a 2-0 lead.
Could have a bigger inning.
You've got 1 out and Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up. So instead it's 1-0, 2 outs, and Fernando Tatis Jr. steps to the plate. Another time for a big decision. Fernando's decision is to be aggressive. And I saw Padres fans very upset after walking 2 straight batters. How do you not, take a pitch there? See if he's going to continue to miss the plate. The pitch was pretty much down the middle.
The hanger?
Yeah, the one that Tatis swung at. I don't have a problem with Fernando Tatis swinging with the bases loaded. He's a guy who can do damage. Now he's been cold.
He hasn't, but yeah.
But he can do damage. If you're going to swing at anything, if you're not going to do a statue take, that's the pitch you're looking to swing at. Did he execute properly? No. Got under it, flied out to right field, and the inning was over on 1 pitch. Yep. Was it a bad decision or was it a decent decision with bad execution?
Well, I don't want to play this game for the next, at this point, 4 more hours of this. I don't want to play this game of good decision, bad decision, because, ultimately you lost the game and it tells you these were all bad decisions. Manny's decision was poor. Arai's decision was poor. Tatis's decision was poor. Leeper's decision was poor. Schilt's decisions were poor. You lost the game at the end of the day. And we know how baseball works, man. Some of these are coin flips, right? But, at the end of the day, you lost the series. I don't mind my hitter swinging at pitches that are strikes. Again, expanding the zone and doing something dumb, that drives me a little crazy. But a hanger that you got, it was like a hanging curveball or hanging slider. He's missed it. He missed it. And, he didn't get it. So, but it's the second inning. Like, who cares? Like, you got 7 more innings to go. It's a close ball game. Again, Randy Vasquez, the decision to take him out, I could not care less.
All right, well, let's talk about that decision. Randy Vasquez came into the game and did everything that we hoped.
That's all I needed from him.
We had asked for 5 innings.
That's it.
And maybe 2 runs, would be a solid start for Randy Vasquez. And he did almost better than that. 4 2/3 innings, just the 1 run on the Conforto home run. Mike Schilt knew he had his relievers rested, set up, ready to go, and an off day the next day.
Be aggressive.
He was going to be aggressive. He wasn't going to let Randy Vasquez, who is, by the way, I think given up a 371 average the third time through the lineup, wasn't going to let the top 3 guys in the Dodgers lineup get a third crack at Randy Vasquez. That's actually a really smart,
I think so too,
decision. That's not, a lot of managers would look at Randy Vasquez and go, man, he's been throwing really well today. Maybe I change my mind. I had a plan, but maybe I go and give him a little more leeway and let him pitch. We'll never know. Maybe that would have been the right decision. But generally, you come into the game with a good plan. And that was a good plan that Mike Schilt had for the game.
I agree.
Get hopefully, close to 5 from Randy, and then aggressively go with Morejon, Estrada, Adam, and Suarez, hopefully, to lock it down the game and get yourself a win in a series. That's a really solid strategic plan by the manager of the Padres.
His last batter was Hyesung Kim, who he drilled on the arm, right? And then he came out after that. And then they went to Morejon for Shohei. Is that right? Was it the hit by pitch?
No, he gave up the Conforto home run with 1 out.
Right.
Then he got Hyesung Kim.
He got Hyesung
for the
Kim.
second out.
And then
they took him out before Ohtani
came up.
Morejon got Ohtani, and they got through 5 at a 1-1 game.
So again, like letting Shohei, Mookie, Freddie get another look off of Randy Vasquez, who, it's not one of those guys that's like, he's got such electric stuff. And yesterday he found it. Like he found the electricity and he was harnessing the electricity. He's so valuable. This is not a knock against him. But again, you got what you needed from him with the off day today, the ability to be aggressive with your bullpen, who's been good. Absolutely fine with the decision. None. Didn't even question it. And I saw, obviously in hindsight, people going, you guy was cruising. You could have let him go. I just don't know how many pitchers are going to cruise through the Dodgers lineup for the third time. Again, we'll never know because I wouldn't have let him go either. And I think all you guys out there at home, knowing I got a rested bullpen, I got my biggest arms, I got an off day. If he goes and he gives up a tank to Shohei Ohtani there, and you have Adrian Morejon fresh and ready, aren't you pissed that he did that?
And Adrian Morejon comes in, gets a weak grounder from Shohei, and then starts the 6th inning, strikes out Mookie Betts, and gets a weak grounder from Freddie Freeman. I mean, pitching-wise, Adrian Morejon did his job.
Yeah.
Defensively, he did not. It was ruled a hit, an infield single off the glove of Morejon. Even Adrian said after the game, I know that's a play I got to make. It's not really a hard play. You're close to it, so it does happen. If you let it go, it's probably an out. You make the play, it's an out. Pitching-wise, he got the 3 best hitters in the Dodgers lineup to do what he wanted them to do. But Freeman's now standing on first base with 1 out. You got righties coming up. So Mike Schilt plays his what his plan was. He's going to go to his righty in that situation, Jeremiah Estrada, who, by the way, was fantastic in his previous outing, looked really, really good. But he comes out and, didn't have it. Walks Will Smith and then falls behind Teoscar Hernandez and lays one in down the middle. And I talked to Jeremiah, really stand up after the game. I saw him go over to his locker. I was in there with my camera and I said, Jeremiah, you mind, just talking a little bit about what happened? And he goes, I don't care. Yeah. So I felt bad for him, but
I feel bad for you.
I was impressed though. It reminded me of Trevor Hoffman.
Sure.
And I tweeted about it. Trevor Hoffman, anytime, and this was rare, but when he did blow a save or gave up runs, late in a tie game, he always was there to answer questions. When he got the save, you rarely heard from him. And Jeremiah stood there in front of 6 cameras and go, this isn't the most fun thing to have to talk about this in front of all these TV cameras in front of me. But he said, just left one right down the damn middle.
He said, I didn't have it.
Just didn't have it. I did not have it yesterday today. And I left one right down the damn middle.
Yep.
To Teoscar Hernandez.
He kind of like snickered about it, like right down the damn middle, man. So he knew. And like you said, they're not all going to be perfect days. Everybody's going to have bad days. Sucks that it came at that point. And again, I think when you look at the Dodgers, this is what's so scary about them. They didn't beat you with their best. They beat you with Teoscar, who is a really good player. He is mired in a horrible slump right now. That ability to hit a 3-run home run, what happened to that?
And that's one of the big differences between the Dodgers and the Padres. You feel like even when they're in a slump, they're more of a threat.
Big time.
The Padres are not getting the 3-run home run or any home runs from anybody who's slumping. Not that no one's even running into one.
No.
Gavin Sheets not running into one. Tatis certainly not running into any of them right now. They're just not doing it offensively, even every once in a while.
So if Ohtani's in a slump, does everybody agree he'll break out of it? All of us.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If Mookie Betts is in a slump, do all of us agree he's going to break out of it?
Yes.
Okay. Freddie Freeman's in a slump. Do we all agree he's going to break out of it?
Obviously.
Will Smith, if he's in a slump, he's going to break out of it. Yeah, 75%, right? He did not have a good offensive year last year. If go down the lineup, I mean, Teoscar, if he's in a slump, you think he's going to break out of it? Yeah, 100%. You go to our 7-8-9. Is Elias Diaz going to break out of a slump, start hitting 3-run home runs? No. Is Tyler Wade going to get out of a slump and start hitting 3-run home runs? No. Jose Iglesias? No. Gavin Sheets? Maybe. Hasn't proven it.
Tatis will.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. I mean Arise isn't going to hit you a 3-run homer. Manny will. Xander's not going to break out. Is Xander going to break out of a slump? Do we expect Xander to go on some Linsanity run? That's the thing. They can kind of count on these guys and bide their time. We need more help, in my opinion. We really do. We need more help offensively to lengthen this lineup. Crony is good for a 3-run homer every now and then, but he's not a guy I look at like Teoscar Hernandez that's going to hit 25, 30 home runs. You can dream on it all you want. I just don't think it's going to happen. So, yeah, man, like you had your opportunities with some of your stars yesterday to get it done, and they didn't come through. And not only did they not come through, I just don't like the decisions. The decisions make sense when you look at them on paper, like with the numbers and stuff. But at the end of the day, you didn't come through. So it's ultimately a failure.
So then the last decision, the big one, they score 1 in the 6th on the Sheets sacrifice fly.
Yeah.
But it's 4-2. Now, the Padres, I said in the press box to, I think it was Jake who was sitting next to me, when Yuki Matsui came out to face, Ohtani, Betts, Freeman in the top of the 7th, I said, I think if Matsui gets through this inning, I think the Padres have a good chance of coming back to win this game. That's a big if, but he had a really solid inning. Struck out Ohtani, struck out Freeman, worked around 1 single to Betts. Really good inning for Yuki Matsui.
Very good.
So I said, I think the Padres have a chance here, down 2. And then right away, with 1 out in the 7th, Tyler Wade walks, Elias Diaz walks, Fernando Tatis Jr. walks to load the bases. Michael Kopech could not find the plate, so they take him out, bring in Bonda, with Luis Arraez and Manny Machado coming up. Luis Arraez takes the first pitch for a ball way, way outside the zone. But then on the second pitch, he tries to get one. It's on the inside corner, gets it on his hands, and pops it up. And it's like,
he cannot. I mean, he can do something with that pitch. Nobody else can, but he didn't. He missed it. Popped it straight up. The worst possible outcome of all time.
But, certainly not over because you get Manny Machado, your hottest hitter, coming up.
Yep.
And Manny Machado takes ball 1, ball 2, ball 3.
I'm driving home and I go, he's swinging. I knew it because
3-0.
Yeah.
Why do you know? Why did you know that?
Because in his career on 3-0, Manny Machado swings a lot. We've seen it. I've seen it 5-6 times this year, but he's posted in his career an OPS of 1277, a 540 slug, 541 weighted on base, and 317 batting average, and a 225 weighted runs created plus. That was not the pitch. Absolutely fine with Manny hacking 3-0. He's got to swing at a better pitch. That pitch was not a pitch he could do damage on.
It was over the plate. But
it was over the plate.
It was more on the outside part of the plate.
And where did he hit it?
He pulled it.
He should, hit it to short.
I think
if he went Manny Machado-esque, that's in the gap.
I think the thought process was pretty good, and here's why. Yes, you can try to wait out a walk, and that gets you within 1.
Yep.
You're not winning that game without a big hit from someone.
You're trying to win.
You're going to need multiple runs, whether it was Manny or someone after that. Someone's going to need to get a big hit with runners on base to beat the Dodgers. Manny Machado is the guy who's most likely to get that big hit in your lineup right now. And on a 3-0 pitch, that's the pitch that he's most likely to get the ball that he's going to get the big hit on. You're not going to get a better situation probably than that.
No doubt.
So I have zero problem with Manny Machado looking to swing or even swinging. It was not the right swing for that pitch. He tried to pull it.
Yeah.
It was not. If it had been an inch inside, maybe it's a grand slam and we're talking a completely different. It was poor execution.
Great play by Mookie,
I thought the decision making wasn't not only not questionable. I thought it was spot on by Manny to be looking to swing there.
You guys trying to win a ball game, so I'm fine with it. But again, it didn't come through, so it looks bad. You take the walk there. You got Merrill coming up, lefty, and take your walk there. You're down 1. Jackson has had a flair for the dramatic in his career, not lately, to be honest, but I'm fine with it, man. I'm fine with it. It's over. Flush it. 16 minutes of salt.
I'm less happy with the Rise's swing in that situation.
Yeah, we all are.
All right, we'll continue this discussion on yesterday's loss. Get to hour number 2 of Ben and Woods. Don't do this coming up ahead on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away. We talked yesterday about how if the baseball gods truly existed,
there you go. I mean,
the Dodgers would have lost the game yesterday because of what they did on Tuesday.
Sure.
Dave
Curses
Roberts
aren't real.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are now.
debunked all social media jinxes last year.
Right.
The baseball gods don't exist.
I mean, if baseball gods existed,
he made a mockery of the game.
Yeah.
He put the health of one of his own players at risk to do so.
You would think you would be smitten by and I don't mean smitten like fall in love with. I mean smitten by the baseball gods. He smites you.
But now you have to face the unpleasant reality that Dave Roberts played the situation perfectly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew it was that's the thing is I got some absolute ass clown yesterday. It was like, yeah, you casual, Woodsy. Now you finally learn a little bit about baseball. And I go, buddy, everybody on the planet knew what this guy was doing. Everybody knew what he was doing. And it's actually like we all said it. This makes sense. He's going to have his rested bullpen. What did he use yesterday? 9 pitchers. So he knew what he was doing. It doesn't make it any less tired what he did. And it doesn't make it any less kind of crappy for Matt. What was it? Sauer. It doesn't, none of that changes. I mean, you knew what he was doing. We watched him do it in the playoffs and in the World Series. We watched him, call in the punt team a couple of times. So he's not some brilliant genius for doing it. But at the end of the day, he had his pitchers rested, which is what he wanted. He does not care about the health of Matt Sauer, and that's okay. That's their prerogative. They run their team the way they want. We all knew what he was doing. But again, if I got to go to a baseball game and watch Kike Hernandez in a helmet pitch for 3 innings, that's pretty tired. And I don't know how you can say it's not. It's really, really tired.
And they walk away from Petco Park with wins in 2 out of 3 games, accomplishing what they
Correct.
set out to accomplish in San Diego.
Correct.
Which is frustrating. It's definitely frustrating if you're a Padres fan.
I mean, again, if you're going to tell me baseball gods are real, how does a manager go to a reporter, national reporter, make up a story, have that story written about nothing, about absolutely nothing, then later admits, yeah, I made it up, and nothing happens to them. Nothing happens. It's crazy. So the baseball gods, I don't believe in them one bit anymore. I don't know that you can piss them off enough because what did we do? Maybe we pissed them off. I have no idea. Not we, but like our team pissed them off because that game is one you should have won that game yesterday. You absolutely should have won. Their rested bullpen notwithstanding. Your bullpen was rested too.
Yeah.
And you went to your high leverage guys.
Gave you 7.
The night before. It's exactly.
You got a day off today.
It's exactly what you needed, man. It's exactly what you needed. And you can nitpick. You can nitpick all you want. Should you have brought Morejon back? Sure, man. Again, with the benefit of hindsight, man, we are all the greatest managers of all time. All of us can go, obviously you leave so-and-so in, or obviously you take so-and-so out before he gives up the home run. But, you had your rested bullpen. You had your plan, as you mentioned earlier, Ben. They knew how they wanted to attack this team, but they didn't add on runs. They didn't put their foot on the throat. They didn't apply the pressure that Jackson Merrill talked about in the first 17 games of the year. This team is no longer really applying the pressure. Bro, bases loaded in this series. The bases were loaded in this series. I got the numbers right here. 3 games, the Padres went 1 for 9 with the bases loaded. That's
I didn't know that one.
That is 0 for 4 with the bases loaded and either 0 or 1 out. That is what I'm talking. You want to apply pressure?
Two more hits there, and you're thinking 4 or 5 more runs.
No doubt.
In 2 games that were close, that's the difference between a sweep and losing 2 out of 3. Hitting with the bases loaded.
1 for 9 with the bases loaded. Runners in scoring position. Actually, for the Padres, not too bad, man. 9 for 38 with runners in scoring position. That's a 236 average. But that's not good enough against the world champs with the lineup that they run out there on a daily basis. Their subs, their bench. Now, they have a bench. That's the other thing. As you look at their bench yesterday, what could Dave Roberts have done, bench-wise? It just trumps so much.
What guys just rotting on the bench
right,
over there?
Just sitting over there rotting. And really the ones that are on the bench too, like they're just replacement level type players. They're not the guys that you fear coming off the bench. When you don't strike fear into a team, Benny, when you go 1 for 9 with the bases loaded, 0 for 4, by the way, again, let me clarify that. 0 for 4 with the bases loaded and either 0 or 1 out. that's when you have to come through. You have to come through. That you don't get those gifts very often. You got to take them. So it's very clear why we lost the series. You had opportunities to win it. It's frustrating, certainly, but you get them again. You'll get them again next week at their house.
This was the first 3 of 13 meetings and still a long way to go. But here's where it stands. After the first meeting between the Padres and the Dodgers sit atop the NL West. They've got 28 losses. Giants half game back. They have 28 losses. Padres with 29 losses. They're 2 games back. It's a hair's difference between the top 3 teams right now in the NL West. Padres are in the 3rd wild card spot, 2.5 games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals for that last wild card spot in the National League. Early standings watch. Now, it changes a little bit this weekend because the Dodgers go home to host the Giants for 3. So the teams in front of you are battling each other, and you go and meet the Arizona Diamondbacks for the first time all year, a team that has been one of the more disappointing in baseball, but of course, one that has gotten hot just in time to welcome the San Diego Padres to town as they completed a 3-game sweep of the Seattle Mariners yesterday with a 5-2 win. They get back to 500, and it's probably enough that you've gotten the Arizona Diamondbacks fan base and, fired up to the point where, okay, we're not out of this. We're only 4.5 games out of a playoff spot. We weathered the storm. Yeah, we lost Corbin Burns, but we're still hanging. We got a good lineup. We're still hanging around. They're looking at this series, I would think, as a massive opportunity to really define the course of their season. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, if they go in and they get swept by the Padres, all of a sudden they're looking, maybe we are sellers this year. If they go and sweep the Padres, they're right back in it, a game and a half out of a playoff spot, and they're
big one.
They're ready to buy. Hey, we can get another pitcher on the market to replace Burns for the rest of this season, and they could be a thorn in everybody's side for the rest of the year. So in terms of actual early season importance, this actually might be a more important series than either of these 2 Dodger series. The Dodgers and the Padres, they're going for it. They're going to be playing through all the way through September to try to get to the playoffs and win a World Series. The Diamondbacks, this is an important series for them.
Well, it's an important series
in their future
for us as well. The Giants are going to be playing the Dodgers, correct?
Yes.
So, a Giant fan posted the meme of the guy watching 2 guys beat the crap out of each other with our logos on it. Now it's our turn. We got to watch it, but we got to handle business. They were playing the Rockies, and they did. They swept.
So the Giants are a weird situation. They've won 7 in a row.
7 in a row, yeah.
The first 6 were all by exactly one run.
Yep.
And this last one, they were down again big. They were down big to the Rockies in each of the last 2 games and had to rally in the 9th inning and yesterday in the 7th and the 8th innings to come back with 7 runs to beat them 10-7. But they could have lost both of those games to the Rockies. They could have lost any of the games to the Padres or Braves that they won the first 5. They were all decided by just nothing, but they won all of them. So they're sitting there now, half a game behind the Dodgers, playing for first place this weekend at Dodger Stadium. I don't know how they're doing it. They're kind of more of the smoke and mirrors team right now in the NL West, but right now, everything's coming up Giants at the moment, and they're probably very excited to get this opportunity against the Dodgers this weekend.
Well, again, we had our moment early in the season. We need another moment like that. You need another stretch like that. It doesn't look good right now with the offensive woes and the fact that, we never changed our.
Remember, this team that scored 18 runs, 20 runs in the series. They scored 20 runs in a 3-game series against the Dodgers. It's not totally fair to say that they're battling offensive woes.
I think it's fair. We're still 25th or lower in every offensive category.
Overall in the season, it hasn't been great. Have they pulled out of their slump? I don't know.
They scored 11 runs, and granted, they only scored 2 off of Kike, but they did score 9 runs off a guy that was pitching with a pulled pork arm.
I think
they scored 20 runs this weekend.
Fair.
I'd say, okay, maybe they are turning the corner.
Correct.
Yeah, they could absolutely lose 4-0 tonight with 8 left on base. Tomorrow night. They won't lose tonight. You're right. They won't win tonight.
They will not win or lose tonight. So tonight, take the night off. Enjoy yourself. Somebody asked in the chat, and I love this response by one of our tier ones too. Somebody asked in the chat, what are your thoughts on Victor Rodriguez? And I don't really have any. The guy, I need Fernando Tatis Jr. to hit. Victor Rodriguez isn't. I don't think he's doing anything to make him worse. I don't think he's doing anything to make Arise worse. These guys know how to hit baseballs. They need to hit.
He's also not going to. He's not going to turn Luis Arraez into a home run slugging.
Well, again, like I praise when Arraez hits when Manny hits a home run. I don't go, hell yeah, Victor, attaboy, way to get him locked in. I don't. You know what I praise Manny. And when Manny sucks, you know who I say sucks? Manny Jackson. If you stink, if you hit a homer, I don't congratulate Victor Rodriguez.
Like if Yuki Matsui gets a strikeout, you're not like, yeah,
attaboy, Ruben.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like I put it on the players. The players,
the fall guys.
The players get the praise, and the players get the criticism. I think that's how it should be. Victor Rodriguez is a conduit. He's there. He's trying to get them to hit the ball in the gaps. It's the way you can kind of win at Petco Park, in my opinion. And that's just my personal thing. I'm not telling anybody else to think whatever they want. All right. And the other thing I always ask in this, if not Victor Rodriguez, then who? Who can you get that comes in immediately and is a better hitting coach than Victor Rodriguez? Because you got to have an answer for your complaint, in my opinion. You got to have an answer. So again, we need a left fielder. Who's that left fielder? What's he look like? What's the trade? Let's come up with solutions. I love to bitch just to bitch. Nobody does it better than me. But I also like to have solutions. And I think I'm fine with Victor Rodriguez. I need our guys to hit. It really boils down to that. He can be there. You can show him all the video he wants. They have it in them. We know that. They did it last year under who? Victor Rodriguez. So I don't have an issue with him right now.
The philosophy, hitting for Petco Park, gap to gap line drives that, by the way, we all praised, vociferously when it was working early in April. And
of course.
All right, they finally found a great strategy.
They found the method.
A hitting coach that really matches your ballpark. But all of a sudden now they start slumping and you go, totally wrong hitting coach and wrong philosophy. So let's not be completely hypocritical as fans. Is there a problem with the philosophy?
I think there's a problem with the lineup. I think the guys aren't hitting. That's it. I mean,
the Padres are not hitting for enough power. We have agreed on that. Is part of that the philosophy? Are they, choking up, taking too short of swings? They're not hitting a bunch of flyouts right to the warning track, at least in my, just observation. I don't feel like the Padres' problem is that they hit so many fly balls that die just at the warning track because they're not swinging for the fences enough. So I don't know that it's a philosophical problem. I tend to agree with you. It's an execution problem by the hitters.
Yeah.
And, you can, as a hitting coach, part of the job is, hey, you see a mechanical issue.
Ruben does that.
He does it with the pitchers a lot, I think.
You never see a hitting coach come up to a guy in the middle of an AB and say, hey, get your hands up just a little bit here. Get your, what, your front toe is
time, Blue.
Time. He runs out.
Meetings where the hitting coach runs out to the batter and goes, kind of give him a little elbow here. Now do this. And
it's like in Little League. If the coach ever had to go out and talk to a kid on the mound, sometimes the third base coach would walk down the line. Kid would run over and be like, all right, so what are you thinking here?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes in Little League, you see where the coach actually like manipulates the plays in the box.
In the box.
No,
I do it in T-ball.
Here, like right here. Just put your foot here, right here, and now go. Okay, go. Victor Rodriguez needs to be out there
holding his foot down.
Everything. Right here. Now get your arm up right here. Okay, now you're okay. Pitcher, now go. You can throw. He's ready.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Like I don't know. I put it on the players, the guys that make $30 million a year, the guys that make $28 million a year. What do you need a hitting coach to tell you something? Like, you know how to hit baseballs. It's how you make $28 million a year. Oh, man, I just don't like this philosophy. What's his philosophy? Hit the ball hard in the gap. It's been the philosophy in baseball for 1,000 years. It'll be the philosophy in baseball moving forward. We can't sit in here, Ben, 3 months ago and be like, yes, this is it. Finally. They finally did it. They're hitting the ball in the gap. They're hitting it where they ain't. They're playing small ball. They're hitting the ball hard. They're making the defense make plays. And now we want to switch it up because it's not going well. Now, again, switch the damn lineup up at this point. Switch it up. Figure something out. Try to find what works, because running the same thing out there every day is not giving you, I don't think, your best chance to win. But these guys got to perform. But hitting balls into the gap and backspinning baseballs and hitting balls hard, barreling balls is not a bad philosophy. It's a good philosophy. It is. Now, Manny needed to pull the ball a little more to get a little bit more power. Look at Manny. I think Manny hit 500 in this series. Like, Manny's pulling the ball and he's getting more power. Jackson Merrill had a couple of really nice ABs this series. Fernando Tatis, I don't know what's going on with him. I have no idea. I know that he can win you a ball game with his legs, with his arm, in other ways. He's doing that. But I don't know what's going on with him offensively. I don't know.
Yeah, teams do change hitting coaches occasionally, but as David J. reminds us, we heard Brett, he writes in the chat, we heard Brett Boone tell us a few weeks ago that essentially he had nothing to offer the Rangers hitters when he got there cold.
Well, again, our philosophy, as somebody said in the chat just now, stringing together singles. They're not trying to hit singles. They're really, what they're trying to do, in my opinion, they're trying to hit doubles. They're trying to hit doubles. And if you string 2 doubles together, guess what? It's a run. And then the next guy hits a single. Guess what? That's another one. They're trying to hit doubles through a marine layer in a kind of cold and dank, area at times. Yesterday was a little chilly when I got down there. I'm like, man, nothing's going to fly. Of course, Conforto, wall scraper, Teoscar got his. But, it just hitting doubles at Petco Park, I don't think is a bad strategy. I don't. And when you go on the road, because doubles do turn into home runs. That's just been the philosophy forever. I don't think they're up there trying to dump singles, into the opposite field. I don't. I think they're trying to drive the ball into the gaps, and sometimes you miss, and they're missing more than they're making right now.
I wouldn't mind having a little chat with the skipper about this tomorrow.
Sure.
When Mike Schilt joins us for the Manager's Report every Friday at 9 a.m. here with Ben and Woods. The Manager's Report, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Kind of I'm sure it wasn't just Victor Rodriguez on his own going, here's what we're going to do. I mean, he consults with Schilt and AJ Preller about, hitting philosophies and how they kind of came to that conclusion, their Petco hitting philosophy and, it was working so well early. Does he see that has anything changed? Is there any reason to reevaluate that, over the last month of the season? Or is it simply, as you said, hitters got to just go back to executing the way they were early in the season? They were scoring plenty of runs in April, plenty of offense, the way that they were approaching the game. And it just hasn't been it hasn't been nearly as successful over the last month plus of the season. All right, we'll get to more coming up. Padres talk. And remember, we're here all the way until 11 through the roundtable this morning, so we got a lot of time to get to all of that. But when we come back, don't do this. It is we get an all-timer, I think, from one Boogie Cousins. I didn't even realize he was still playing basketball.
Holy cow.
And now he's not again. We will tell you what
you almost
what
wonder
happened.
why he's not in the NBA.
Right.
What happened to Boogie Cousins that is really, really gnarly. That's coming up and much more with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, before traffic, I want to talk about sdfatloss.com. Summer, we love summer, but remember, it is always tough on our routines, especially when it comes to healthy eating and weight loss. You got barbecues, you got hot dogs at the game. You're probably thinking, this is not a good time for me to start a program. That's incorrect thinking. With sdfatloss.com, they can create a program that fits your busy summer life and still loses weight, and so you can enjoy the summer season. I did mine over the summer. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I had barbecues. I went on vacation, had a few cheat days, and still lost 40 pounds in 60 days. If I can do that, you absolutely can do it. There is no reason to wait. Check them out today by going to sdfatloss.com or calling for your free consultation. Set it up with sdfatloss.com and see how the program can work for you. No injections, no hormones, no exercise necessary. Just eating real food from the grocery store, from restaurants at the right times and the right portions. You can lose that weight. And right now, the summer special, take $200 off the program at sdfatloss.com. Go online, sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, we'll get back to the Padres talk in a minute. Sammy Levitt's going to join us. First, though, it is time for Don't Do This. It is brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com.
Yes.
It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Well, apparently, Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, I have not heard from him in a while, but trying to keep his basketball career going. The four-time NBA All-Star who was went through a lot of DDT moments when he was an NBA player, is playing in Puerto Rico.
His last NBA game was 2022.
Yeah.
He has been all over the place ever since.
The Baloncesto Superior Nacional, the BSN League in Puerto Rico. And he was participating in a game and got into a bizarre courtside, I guess a fan who was, I don't know, heckling him, riding him. He goes over to the fan. I have to be careful about how I describe this.
I'm waiting.
So he's jawing with the fan who's sitting right in the front row, courtside seats.
Yep.
And Boogie Cousins.
Well, hold on. He says they're jawing, but the fan does this move where he takes both fists, puts them up to his eyes, and goes, "Eh." I've done it to people in traffic.
Right.
They do not react well.
And
it's worse than the
Cousins
finger.
responds by, reaching down and grabbing his
junk,
his package.
I already described it with junk.
Right.
You said then you had to follow it with package.
Right, sorry. I'm dead.
His wiener.
Gosh. His unit.
And then he takes the hand that he just used and
shoved
rubs
it
it all in the guy's face to make him smell it, I guess, is what he's trying to do. And this, of course, doesn't go well. The other players come over, try to pull him away. Referees eject him. And then as he's leaving the court, the fans of the other team start heckling him, throwing things at him.
Beer,
and then, of course,
water.
That drives Boogie Cousins insane.
God,
and he starts reaching up into the stands, and
they're holding him back.
I mean, he's looking like he's looking like Ron Artest in the almost in the Malice at the Palace moment. Essentially, he can't quite get up into the stands because he's already in kind of the tunnel, so he can't climb out. But if he could,
I mean,
he would have probably tried to
he's got guys flipping him off.
There,
he's giving the finger right back in their face.
Look at him. I mean, he grabs it and then here. I mean, just puts it right in the dude's face. That is
wild.
Unbelievable.
So he was fined, suspended for the rest of the season. The league also handed down some punishments to the fans who threw beer and other objects in the incident.
Oh, my God.
I'm reading this story. I don't know if AI wrote this, but I love this line. This marks a low point for Cousins, once considered among the dominant big men in the NBA. You think you're relegated to a league in Puerto Rico? Used to be an a perennial all-star.
Yeah.
You're relegated to playing in Puerto Rico, and you're pulling this kind of stunt during that game and getting suspended for the rest of the year.
Bro, giving somebody a handful of butter is that's nasty work, dude. That is nasty work. Here, butter.
I was doing some prep last night. I'm laying in bed. I got the iPad out, and I'm watching those videos that we just talked about. My wife goes, "Who's that?" And I go, "Oh, that's DeMarcus Cousins. He has been doing this for, 15 years, except he used to do that in the NBA with a lot more eyes on him. Man. He just never gave an F."
He's the biggest dude on the court, and that fan was like a skinny guy like me.
He's really a monster.
Oh, my God.
6'10", 270 is what he's listed.
6'10", 270. You're going to give him the crybaby? Bro, there's not enough.
You are really trusting in the
security.
They can't touch me.
They can't touch me.
The contract the implied contract that an athlete cannot take a swing at a fan.
Yeah,
you're doing that to Boogie Cousins, that is very dicey by the fan as well.
Speaking of dicey, this is insane. This story has it has turned so insane to me. Last Sunday, I'm at home and I'm scrolling Twitter and I see this quote from Red Sox rookie pitcher Hunter Dobbins. And we said the story. We talked about what happened. He said, if the New York Yankees were the last team on the planet to offer me a contract, I'd retire. They asked Judge about it. Judge was shocked that he said it. Judge touched him up for a bomb. After that, kid settled in. Red Sox actually win that game. So he's about to face the Yankees again. I don't know who he pissed off in New York, but the backstory of this whole thing that I guess I failed to mention, he had told the reporters, Ben, the reason I hate the Yankees so much is that they drafted my dad, Lance, twice, signed after the second selection, and then he was subsequently traded to the Diamondbacks. Well, Joel Sherman from the Post reported Lance Dobbins, who's his dad, does not appear as a Yankee draft pick for any season on Baseball Reference. And the Yankees general manager, Brian Cashman, who was there since 1986, never heard of him. Don't know who Lance Dobbins is. Cashman also told Sherman, the Yankees' amateur department checked their records, could not find anything about drafting a Lance Dobbins. So this kid came out and was like, yeah, I hate them because they drafted my dad and he never made it, and screw them. And the Yankees are like, well, we never drafted your dad. So this Michael Jordan-esque backstory that you made up in your mind to hate us is all BS.
When Michael Jordan talks about it 20 years later and looking back.
He's got to go face them again.
But did you see Hunter Dobbins, what he said? Because he said, you say I'm lying about it. I said, I'm not lying. I don't. What do you think? I'm going to fact check my dad?
Fact check my dad.
Like this is the story that he told me. So I just believed it. I mean, I don't care if it's true or not. This is what I believe. And, in my mind, it's true.
I don't care if it's true or not.
In my mind, it's true. I mean, I'm not fact checking my dad on this. So
interesting.
I mean, hey, Bo, if you're listening, don't ever go back and look up that season I won the Triple Crown for the Kansas City Royals in 1998. I
don't see anything here.
Bo, you can never play for the Dodgers because I was drafted.
by them.
But
yeah,
they traded me. So
they treated me. They treated me so. That's why I hate them. So they treated me so poorly. I dominated for them in the minor leagues. Just don't look it up. It's insane. It's insane behavior. So the New York Post, Ben, the headline on the New York Post said, hold on, just had it, said something like wicked, I'll find it. You talk, do your do this, I'll find it. It's
all right,
so
you find
good.
the headline. We'll do it
disappeared.
Do this at the end. And how about this? I was just excited to see this. Dick Vitale has gone through so much health-wise recently. We had him on years ago at the old station. It was fun to talk to him. Just brings all that energy, which was, sapped out with multiple cancer diagnoses, melanoma, lymphoma, vocal cord cancer. Couldn't even speak for like over a year, relapses.
I was gonna say, I feel like every 6 months we get an update like he's cancer free,
Yeah.
and then a couple months later he's off the broadcast again. Oh, Dick Evie's back, and then he's dealing with it again. It has been brutal for like the last several,
But
5 years?
Celebrated his 86th birthday this week, and ESPN revealing that they have extended his contract through the 2027-2028 season. He's going to keep working.
Good.
Still is very as energetic
loves
as ever, really. I mean, and the fact that he is still able to do that, I think, is an amazing story. Fantastic.
Let me update this quickly, Paulie, before we hit the ender. New York Post, back page of the New York Post. Dobbins' hatred of Yankees seemingly built on series of lies. It's his face. It says "Wicked Wappa" like that.
Wicked Wappa.
Wicked Wappa. Lou Merlone, who's Red Sox, calls games for the Red Sox on the radio because Lou says, watching Hunter Dobbins deal with this situation is uncomfortable and impressive at the same time. I have no idea what he was told or what the story is, but he's been upfront and honest. He's a good kid that's been put in an awkward situation. Lou, all he had to do was just shut his mouth. I'm looking forward to going out, taking the ball, trying to help my team win. That's it. Never had to mention the Yankees and my dad and everything else. Absolutely incredible. And again, he's going to face those guys again. Like this weekend, I think. Just brilliant. Brilliant.
And that
story.
is don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We'll get back to the Padres talk. Sammy Levitt, even on his day off, going to check in with us when we come back. I see him logging into Zoom right now. We will talk to Sammy Levitt in just a moment here with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
You know, I bet Sammy Levitt has never been maxed out on credit cards or struggled with high interest debt. But, you know, we're not all like Sammy Levitt. You could, if you're going through that right now and you own a home, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. So no appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program is what you need to check out at Loan Pronto. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front, which is good. Your home's equity is yours. Use that. Get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get out today. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Lots and lots of 5-star Google reviews as well. Great service there. Give them a call. Start the conversation. 619-207-4336. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Sammy Levitt standing by. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by U.S. Wellness Meats. Overwhelmed by processed foods, U.S. Wellness Meats offers an all-natural alternative. 100% grass-fed beef, pork, poultry, wild-caught seafood, and more. Shipped free from family farms. Get 20% off your first order at uswellnessmeats.com. I don't think that my hot dog yesterday was a wellness meat, unfortunately. But the Tums did help. Thank you. Did see Sammy in the press box. All the TV guys, my competitors that I was sitting with, they wanted to get their hands on the new version of the banana pudding that you love so much.
Got it yesterday.
Did you get it in the
No.
Western Metal Trough?
They didn't
That's
have
what
it.
they wanted.
They didn't have it in the trough. They had it in the now. I hope my trainer's not listening. I'm going to him today. Brad, if you're listening, turn the radio off.
How did you gain all the weight?
I'll tell you how. I bought a banana pudding for me and one for Bo. Bo took
knowing he was going to only take a bite.
He said
or
he
two?
wanted to try it, and he took
Try it.
He took one bite. He goes, I hate
You're
it.
like,
I go, yes, yes. I lick those things clean.
Is that not a dad move? Like you get a
we're not gonna
dessert for your
share it.
kid, and you're secretly hoping they don't like it because then you have to finish it for them.
Oh, darn.
And I was not leaving that sitting there. So yeah, I did. I ate them both. I'll wear it. And I'm gonna go pay for it today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We can talk to Sammy about. He wasn't sure either where the Western metal sized trough.
They just didn't have them.
Of banana pudding is available. Did they have it in the helmet?
They had it in the helmet,
but not in the trough.
They had hundreds of them in the helmets,
but no trough.
Somebody asked for the trough, and she said that actually the lady in front of me goes, "I want it in the thing," and she goes, "They won't be here till next home series." So Royals,
look for the trough.
Look for the
Ooh,
trough.
I'll be there.
Of banana
I'll go
pudding.
get one.
Get a trough. Well, I would snort that whole trough. You just to the dome.
Talk bananas and baseball with Sammy Levitt right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, guys, the good news is no incidents or accidents to contend with. The bad news is you're still going to see a lot of that usual company out there, the usual spots. Yeah, we're looking at you, West 52, heading out of Santee. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we are joined right now by in-season Sammy Levitt. I don't even know whose idea was it to take that banana pudding and create a trough that looks like the Western Metal Building and, I don't know, double or triple the size of it?
It's smart.
It was a good idea. It's got tons of publicity and people are running for it. So at the beginning of the year, it was only in the helmet. The Western Metal Building trough is something I've only seen the last couple of homestands. So I'm sure they'll have it back for the next homestand.
They will.
It's pretty popular. So I hope you get it. I hope you get it next time.
I got a better idea. Eric Grubner, if you're listening, here's yet another freebie from the Ben & Woods program. Think about this. A Padres themed wheelbarrow full of banana pudding. Okay.
Like the grounds crew has when they go out and, shoveling some extra dirt onto the field, but banana pudding.
And you go in, I'll take one. And you wheel it out and you take it to, one thing I noticed.
Could be a fire hazard. 40,000 wheelbarrows just cruising around the concourse.
No, I would do it. And I'd pay, what's a wheelbarrow cost at Home Depot? Who am I asking?
$140.
Listen, we have no idea. It could be $60. I have no idea. Take it, fill it with banana pudding, put a Padres logo on the side, and you're good to go. So yeah.
Can I give you one more good food recommendation in the same spot that is
Yeah.
actually right next to where you can get the banana bread pudding? Because I had multiple people ask me about it after I put it on my Instagram story. If you want a good, pretty healthy option in the ballpark, one of my top recommendations, right next to where you get the banana bread pudding at Seaside Market, they have the salads, and you can get some really delicious salads there.
Who is eating a
great
salad
option.
at a ball game?
Well, you might want something
who has
light,
to go
but
to
they
every
give you a
single
lot.
one of
They
them.
really give you a lot. So I say it's light. What did Ben say?
Someone like Sammy who's going to every ball game. You
That's
can't
true.
You can't
True.
always
Yes.
eat ballpark food
That's
every
true.
day.
Yeah, you can't.
For
That's
most
fine.
of us,
Fair.
when, a trip to the ballpark's a special occasion. You're not going to eat salad.
No.
Although Ben, your hot dog was in the press box.
Yeah, it's not sitting well with me.
Really? Now, I will say the press box hot dogs, I actually think are some of the better hot dogs you can get.
Oh, it's usually really good. I think I got a
good because
bad
they
one.
usually can kind of, overcook them a little bit and make them nice. And they got grilled onions up there. Sometimes they have some toppings. So the press box hot dog's actually a great
onions and jalapenos, and it just didn't sit well with me.
I wonder
I'm
why.
okay though. I'm feeling a little bit better now.
It was, I will say, it was quite a scene, Woodsy, yesterday, seeing Ben with Julian, Darnay, and Jake in a row. I mean, it was like a panel of our local TV sportscasters.
I love it.
Having a summit up there in the press box.
I love it.
But they all look good.
Yeah,
Good guys.
sharp guys.
I walked
man.
in and I go, what is this, opening day? We're
Yeah,
all sitting
look at
here
that.
at
Well,
the
yeah,
same
look-
time. You don't see that very often over the course of a baseball season.
Well, Sammy, so let's get our club out and continue to beat the dead horse that is the I'd say need for reinforcements for the San Diego Padres. I think it would kind of quell some of the worries. Now again, there's no guarantee. In fact, who was the girl the other day that made the point in the chat? Was it a girl or a guy that said, who have we acquired that's ever hit at the deadline? Like Juan Soto a little bit, and people hated Juan Soto. Yeah, I mean, there's names out there. There's guys you can trade. We don't have a ton of chips to trade for, but I do feel in my gut and that whatever we have is going to be better out in left field than what we can run out there on a daily basis, Sammy. So we're going to beat that dead horse of continuing to say we need some help.
Well, it's certainly been a revolving door in left, and it continues to be a problem. And look, I have no doubt that AJ and company are working on it. I don't know, what the options are here in mid-June when the trade deadline is still a month and a half away, what they're willing to give up, and what the appetite is of teams to make a deal this early is. If you're talking about somebody like a Luis Robert with the White Sox, maybe that's somebody the White Sox are willing to give you over the course of the next couple of weeks. Look, I think in the overall sense, whether it is upgrading in left field or towards the bottom of the lineup, and we all agree they need upgrades, and I'm sure they are going to make some type of move at some point. I think it's just a question of what that is and what the cost is. They also just need this offense to click more. I mean, I think that's one of the overarching issues right now. There's just not a lot of power. I was looking it up earlier. If you look at their last 14 games, now they're 7-7 in those 14 games. Despite this, they've got 4 home runs from Manny. They've got 1 from Sheets and 1 from Maldonado. I mean, Fernando hasn't hit a home run in a long time. Jackson hasn't hit a home run in a long time. This is not a big home run hitting team. And I know Chris Ello in the afternoons, he's always talking about lack of 3-run home runs. And, some of it I think is tongue in cheek, but there is some truth to it that when you don't hit home runs, it means you have to be really, really perfect offensively. You've got to string hits together. So when you have guys that are struggling all at once like they've had, it's tough to score runs. Look, we've talked about it before. It's a bit of a confusing group right now because on one hand, they're certainly not clicking, even though they were more productive the last handful of days overall. They're certainly not clicking all together. They're not getting a ton of power. They're not getting a ton from the bottom of the lineup at all. With that said, they're keeping things afloat. I do question a little bit how much longer you can keep things afloat with some of the things that they're dealing with right now.
Sam, we talked about some of the decisions in the game yesterday. Fernando swinging first pitch with the bases loaded in the second inning. Mike Schilt taking out Randy Vasquez after he had been sharp for 4 2/3. Manny swinging at a 3-0 pitch in the 7th inning. All, I think, can be justified. Is there one in particular you felt like, you wish had gone a different way? Obviously, you wish they all had tried something different because it didn't work out. But that's easy hindsight managing the next day.
I had absolutely no problem with Randy coming out of that game. And quite frankly, if Adrian Morejon fields that grounder for Freddie Freeman, it's going right according to plan. I mean, if Morejon makes that play, he's 3 up, 3 down. After getting Ohtani, getting Betts, and then getting Freeman, and he's got 2 outs, nobody on now. Does Mike allow Morejon to try to finish that inning? I don't know. I thought it was pretty clear that Estrada didn't have his best command. To me, you could kind of feel that Hernandez home run coming after he walked Smith and then fell behind Teoscar. But I had no problem with the strategy yesterday. Of all days, that was the day to be aggressive with your relievers. Coming off a fresh pen, day off tomorrow, Ohtani coming up a third time. I had no issue with it. And again, if Morejon picks up that ball, then it's really going according to plan. And it just from the bullpen standpoint, I mean, people have to realize, and we had this conversation on the post game Friday when a lot of people were all over Mike about not running Robert Suarez back out there for his second inning, not having Jason Adam come out for a third straight day, and asking themselves, okay, well, why is Wandy Peralta in the game in the top of the 10th inning? I think what people need to realize, if you go and you look at the major league pitchers appearance leaders, Jason Adam is number 1 with 34 appearances. Jeremiah Estrada is tied for 3rd with 33. So these guys are getting used a lot, and it's not just as simple as, oh, let's just run them out there, and it's a game in mid-June and it's against the Dodgers. Yeah, they're important. But you've got to be real careful with overusing these guys. You want to talk about a way to sink a season, having your bullpen be burned out by July. That's a pretty easy way to do it. I know that kind of went off on a tangent, but back to yesterday.
Sammy, that tracks back to lack of offense. I mean, you can't.
It's hot. It is very pressure appearances.
Yeah,
you can't. Close games.
You can't go to lower leverage guys when you're chasing 1 or 2 or up 1 or 2. You're preserving leads, and you don't have the ability to punt and put a position player in. I mean, look, I'm glad that the Padres aren't doing that where they're getting blown out and punting games like that. They fight, they battle, they're in it, they try every game. They don't always come up with the victory, but that kind of season of, I mean, the Dodgers bullpen as a whole, their starters have thrown fewer innings, I think, than anybody. I mean, they don't go deep into games. They just can cycle 15, 17 guys throughout the team. We don't have that luxury. So when Schilt gets in a tight ball game, he's like, who can I trust the most?
Yeah.
It's Adam, it's Suarez, it's Estrada.
Right. And look, and those guys have been great, Adam and Estrada.
Yep.
You are seeing some cracks, though. Adam hasn't been as sharp. Estrada has the issue yesterday. But back to yesterday, I had no issue with them being aggressive of all days yesterday. As far as Tatis and Manny, I mean, I said it post game. Who am I to tell Manny Machado how to hit, especially how he's swinging the bat right now? Is there always going to be an argument to taking a pitch on 3-0 in that spot? Absolutely. Maybe I have a little bit more of a problem with Fernando because Gasparius couldn't throw a strike, and then he's not swinging the bat well, and maybe that's a spot where, hey, Fernando, we know you like swinging at the first pitch, but maybe make him throw a strike. But I always struggle with the offensive part of things like that. Like, who am I to tell these guys how to hit? But yes, there's always going to be an argument to take a pitch.
I think for me, had Fernando taken that pitch, he's down 0-1. Now he's in a worse position than he would have been. That was a strike. If Manny takes the 3-0, now it's 3-1. That does change the at-bat a little bit. You might get that slider now in the corner instead of, the fastball that was not right down the middle, but certainly what he was looking for in that situation.
But had he gone with it like he's done how many times this season, if he goes with that pitch instead of trying to pull it, like he has done, he's been brilliant at it this year. Brilliant. His hits to right field, the spray chart, right? That gap. I mean, that's a different ball game. He just got around it, man. He got around it and pulled it, and it sucks. But it was the right. You saw fastball and you attacked fastball. It's just the wrong fastball.
Sam, enjoy the rest of your day off. I know they've been very few and far between here in the month of June.
We're going to need you for the round table, buddy. We're going to need you to come on in here, buddy. What are we doing here? Leaving us in the trenches.
You can be assured your boy Kluge. He asked.
Are you sure?
And for the first, for probably one of the third time all year, I said I got some plans.
Yeah, your old pal Wood's rubbing off on you a little bit. I like that, dude. Good for you.
Sammy.
Good for you. Good
You
for
guys will
you.
be
Doesn't say no to Ben and Woods, though.
Does
That's
not.
Sam Levitt.
Adam is seething right
Padres
now.
pre and post game show host, and he'll be back tomorrow night as the Padres open a series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He'll be on about 5:40, I think, tomorrow on a Friday. All right, we are 2 hours in. We will come back with more Ben and Woods. We got a Throwback Thursday, Real or Fake game, and Eno Sarris all ahead here on 97.3 The Fan.
we're halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Welcome in, everybody. We're coming at you. Sound more like you on our first day. We hadn't played that audio again on the Throwback Thursday. Wait, yeah, Throwback Thursday is today. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. He joins us as well. Got a little pukey that day, didn't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Broadcasting, and that is a key word.
He's
Live from the
cringing.
studios of 97.
I actually
do it here.
So
Why
I
not?
remember. I do remember coming in. Feeling like
Broadcasting.
I need to really ramp up the energy here
Live.
to start our first show on our new station. It was a big moment. I mean, for me, obviously for the show, but I had never really been coveted. Like they wanted us here, and it
like being
good.
coveted.
It felt good. They wanted us here.
You felt like a free agent.
I did.
Yeah.
For like the only time in my really life.
Yeah.
Because Channel 10's been great to me, but I've never left. I
Yeah.
kind of started by just filling in on the weekends and then I was just in the building, and I never had that whole we really want to
Wine
sign
and
you.
dine.
Yeah, a little bit. Not there was a ton of whining
Or dining.
that went on, but there's meetings and we want to hire you. You offer you a contract, and you feel like, okay, I've kind of made it.
I mean,
I've made it to the big time.
The day we came here to sign contracts, done deal, and they had our pictures on the TVs when you walk into the lobby, and right when we walked into the main room, you could hear our song was The Stones at that point. Can't You Hear Me Knocking? They played it throughout the speakers in the office, and we're like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
At the old station,
That ended pretty quickly after that. Those
It
good
lasted
vibes
about
and those good
5
feelings.
minutes.
Yeah,
at the old station, I was there. I was just filling in for a guy who just never returned.
Yeah,
and then they paired me with a bunch of different people, and eventually we started with Woods, and that was great. But it didn't have the same.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, here you coming to be the new morning show at
Broadcasting.
a new station.
Yeah, so you thought
So I
this
felt
morning
like I need to really ramp up some energy here.
crank it up.
Live.
God, you cranked it to 11. I was screaming.
Yeah. Maybe the microphone was a little, wasn't properly set yet for me.
Right.
Live.
Wow. It does sound tinny a little bit.
tinny.
Yeah.
Ben, do you want to record the next segment, or would you like to do it maybe
Live.
I don't know what it. I've done it. We all get pukey at times, and it's my least favorite part of hearing broadcasters when they are super pukey. Like if you saw me yesterday at Petco Park, this is how I'm going to talk to you. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. And I think I sound mostly the same, but I hear every now and then I'm like, and you get the.
I mean, some of the all-time greats, the old school style was pukey.
That's what we all grew up.
Even
on.
Vin Scully.
Oh yeah, you get pukey.
Could get that way often. So that's what I grew up listening
absolutely
to.
will get you
Don
sometimes.
will get you sometimes.
Jesse doesn't get pukey. I've noticed he's not a puker. He's not. He's just got it. I'm Jesse. He's very dry. Oh man, he is so quick. I was listening to him on the drive home yesterday, and he is just bam, bam, bam. It's just and little subtle genius things that he weaves in, and you go, did he just, that son of a, I know he did. And so he's not your typical pukey broadcaster, but man, you let it rip.
Do you have any audio of Woods from our first show? Or
I think I sound the same.
Just of me. You haven't changed.
He played a little bit the other day. I went, oh, that sounds like me. I think he has some. He's got a little bit
younger version. Sometimes you sound.
I've heard.
I've seen some of the old.
It's a passion for me for sure. Baseball is my whole life, and now
we
are on the home of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah,
right here on 97.
I was sick.
A fan, and
I was really sick.
I can hear that in your voice.
I was really sick. I got really sick.
I'm always amazed though when I see from before I knew you when you were doing FM music radio, and how young you sound in some of those clips.
How young I look.
And
I mean, crazy.
I went back through
I've aged
my
terribly.
camera roll when we played this clip a couple of days ago on the actual 6-year anniversary of hitting the airwaves for the first time here at 97 through the fan. And I went back to June of 2019 on my camera roll, and I took a picture at 5:30 in the morning of the sunrise because we were so astonished that this place had windows. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah, it was.
We're like, oh my god, you guys, this you don't understand.
Yeah, it's
They have windows.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
They have clean carpet.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. But
you got microphones and everything. It's really great.
We got everything we needed. Been a fun 6 years since we've been here at the fair. Been crazy. I was thinking about it the other day. You know, you get to that point. I think we're in the point of the baseball season. Maybe it's just when the Dodgers come to town. You know, everything just feels a little bit more ramped up. The online stuff gets a little bit gnarlier, gets a little bit more personal. People get a little bit bitchier, you know, but it's that point, kind of not quite at the All-Star break yet, where you're like, whew, I forgot how much of a grind it is to watch these games and cover these games every day, and the minutia of it all. And the thing with this team too, Ben, the weird thing is, we've been having the same conversations about this team for 3 weeks, a month. Should we change the lineup? Who do we need in left field? Do we need a backup catcher? We need a better bench. Should we go after starting pitching? What's Michael King doing? I mean, the topics don't change. They do not change.
So excited for the roundtable.
Me too. I cannot wait to beat that dead horse again for
In fact,
another
when I woke
hour.
up today, knowing what we were going to be talking about, the series lost, I thought, 4 hours just isn't enough.
I need an extra one.
God, I wish we had that fifth hour.
Well, we got that fifth hour today. The roundtable's coming up today after the show. We're going to split right here, go down to the round table and knock it out. After that, I told Hannah this morning, I go, oh, babe, come on. After that, I go to the gym. And then as soon as I leave the gym, you know where I'm going? The fair.
The fair.
It is a family tradition. We go with our friends, the Coopers, every year. Take the kids. The little boys are best friends. The older boys are best friends. We love them. They love us. We go to the fair. We're doing that after this. So I'm going to get home tonight at my guess is about 6. So I will have left the house at about 4:30.
Okay, just in time for the member stream at 6:30.
Get home at 6 for the member stream at 6:30. So it's going to be it's a jam-packed day of a lot of talking and whatnot, and walking, and try to dial the food in at the fair. You know, after my double banana pudding yesterday, I'm going to get a turkey leg for sure.
You always do.
I'm going to stay away from the cinnamon roll.
That's tough.
It is tough, but I'm going to do it. It's hard. Like on the day after, the problem with me is when I work out really, really hard, and I do on Tuesdays, Thursdays, that's when I'm like, I can eat whatever I want, bro. Nobody just burned more calories than me. I just crushed it. I absolutely deserve this. And that's not
I used
the
to
case.
think that. I used to think, I exercise, so I can eat whatever I want. And then you hit 35, 40, and that is not true anymore.
This
you
is
have
not.
to do both.
You do.
You have to exercise and you have to eat well.
Yeah, you have to. You have to drink water and all that. So that's what I will be doing today. I am looking forward to it. I always look forward to the fair. Always a good time. Last night was I got home. You know, the game ended early, right? So you have the night to yourself to kind of watch what you want. And I watched a little bit of baseball, but I really went down the rabbit hole. And I think you did too. Brian Wilson, who we lost yesterday. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Went down the rabbit hole on Brian Wilson and actually pulled up the old TV movie that they did. It was Beach Boys and American Family, and it was on TV. And I showed the boys. The boys loved it. They were laying there next to me watching this, and I told them the story about how mean their dad was, Murray, deaf in one ear, Brian Wilson, because his dad punched him in the ear. His brother Dennis, his brother Carl, Al Hardeen, Glenn Campbell joined the Beach Boys, Mike Love, the cousin, and they loved it. They were all in on this whole thing. And then it put them to bed. And then I started watching the old production videos, Benny, right? Here's Brian Wilson composing God Only Knows and Good Vibrations with the Wrecking Crew.
I watched that Good Vibrations video on social media, and I was blown away.
It's
blown
incredible.
away.
He's a
Seeing
kid.
Brian
He's a
Wilson
kid.
orchestrating everything, and then to actually see them singing the vocals, it's
staggering.
You've heard it so many times in your life, those songs, and you hear the vocals, but to actually see them singing into the bop 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 excitation bop bop bop, and they're doing it just like, and then it turns into this iconic song that you know so very well, but thinking about the fact that as they were recording, no one knew this song. No one had ever heard. They didn't know that song was going to become a hit or popular or anything. They're in this studio.
Well, he did. He did. He and the cool thing is he would come in and say, "All right, Mike, your part is bop bop bop, bop, whoop, bop, bop. And then he go, all right, Carl, your part is, right? And then Dennis, I want you to do this. And then to watch him put it all together is magical. The composing of it all, the having the session musicians, the wrecking crew in there, the best musicians on the planet, and they're all old, salty jazz musicians, and they listen to this kid. This is what I want, and they're like, bro, absolutely.
It always stuns me because as a non-musical person, you hear a song and you think, okay, the music's going, now you start singing, and that's how easy it is. But to actually have to bring all those parts together from scratch, like in your head, like you haven't heard this song before, you're inventing it in your head with all these different aspects of it, and the fact that they actually sounded like that's not like some AI or computer. They're sing, that's how they could make their voices sound like that.
So it is just the loss of it, the loss, the weight of what his whole, the universe that he created was just massive and so spread out across the universe. You saw tributes pouring in from Billy Corgan, from Flea, from of course Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, and his rivalry with the Beatles. You bastard, Paul. He was in the middle of a beautiful soliloquy.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Dude, it's to watch him and to think about, everything he went through too, mental issues like galore, drugs, the whole thing. And man, he's such a huge loss. And I found this morning. I think some people have heard this before, but I wanted to play it. This is they pulled the music out, and this is just the lyrics and the song, them singing.
I remember when you did this for Chris Cornell and Black Hole Sun without the music,
Staggering.
And like even I was like hit to the core, and this is kind of the same.
When we can say goodnight and stay together, wouldn't it be nice if we could wake up in the morning when the day is new?
Come on.
After having spent the day together, hold each other close the whole night through.
Staggering.
I don't know that it would work the same way if I recorded all three of us, like somebody going ooh, and then somebody going bop bop, and then one of us singing. We could try.
Nice? All right, try
if you want. All right, what are the parts?
I have no idea. That's the problem.
That's why
the whole
it's so
thing.
genius that
he
you
puts
even think of the parts.
Is there more of that? Because that makes me feel in a good mood.
The happy times together we've been spending. I wish that every kiss was never ending. Oh, wouldn't it be nice?
The hair on my arm is standing straight up, dude. Straight up.
You know, it seems the more we talk about it, it only makes it worse to live without it. But let's talk about it. Wouldn't it be nice?
His voice alone is unbelievable. That's him. Wouldn't it be nice?
I can do that part of the thing. Ba, 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 ba.
I'm throwing you out. Get him out of here.
Wouldn't it be nice?
God, that's brilliant. And the funny thing is, man, is, he didn't surf. And he's writing.
He didn't surf.
He didn't surf. He hated the water, and like he was like,
he was a faker. He faked. He was a fake
poser.
surfer.
Yeah, his
Poser.
brother was, and Mike Love was. But Mike Love was the one that said, "We got to write these songs, man. This is the new trend." And then he said, "You write a few of these, and you can write whatever you want, right?" And so they got successful, and he wrote Pet Sounds. That is, I listened to it yesterday. It's just a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, front to back, no skips, brilliant. And what a tremendous loss he was. And I'll be in a Brian Wilson rabbit hole for a good solid month. My wife's up there, like, oh my God. I'm walking around the house, my phone's playing yesterday in my room, God only knows. Caroline, no. Surf's up. She's like, oh boy, here we go. Just tearing up at the drop of a hat. But he's just going to be missed forever, for sure.
What's
Just
your least favorite Beach Boys song?
Kokomo.
Kokomo.
It's not even close.
Aruba,
It's the
Jamaica.
worst song.
Ooh,
Now, he had nothing to
Jamaica.
do with that. Nothing. He was gone. He was out of the
It
picture.
shows.
Yeah, it shows. Exactly. It's the worst. One of the worst songs of all time. Oh, man, I want it. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. But yeah, man, just a big, big loss in the music world and, really the world. But at least my kids have Jelly Roll. So that's good.
Morgan Wallen,
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
They're fine. The future's bright. We're good. You guys are good.
You got Foreigner at the fair tonight.
Foreigners at the fair tonight?
Yeah, you should stick
Damn
around
it.
for it. I think you need an extra special ticket for that
I
one.
kind of want to, actually.
I know.
It'll be the longest day of my life. I just never go home. Just come straight to work. Oh, man.
Speaking of the San Diego County Fair, we have a fair-themed Real or Fake today coming up. If you'd like to be our contestant, you can dial us up now.
Fair-themed?
Fair-themed. 833-288-0973. We need a contestant to try to qualify for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas. 833-288-0973. Call now. Play our game coming up in our next segment. Then Eno Sarris, some smart baseball at the bottom of the hour. I want to talk a little Luis Ariz. Now, it wasn't The Athletic. Fangraphs had a piece, though, out about what was called Luis Ariz and the contact rate death spiral. Doesn't sound like a particularly promising headline. So we'll chat with Eno Sarris coming up
quickly,
in just
though,
a few minutes.
The Athletic put out MLB trade targets for each team, and he is mentioned for one team in particular.
Luis Ariz?
That they would want to acquire him.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get to that coming up after traffic. First, though, I'm going to talk about Prize Picks. It's my daily fantasy spot. I love it. I'd love you to give it a try as well. All you have to do is pick more or less, combining 2 to 6 players in your lineup, and you can turn your sports knowledge into cash alongside millions of members. Prize Picks making daily fantasy accessible to everybody with a shot to win up to 2,000 times your money. I've been running my game all season long, all year long with Prize Picks. You can do so as well. Still, I got at least 2 or 3 more games in the last basketball series of the season. Look for special wins like last night. Jalen Williams, more or less than 1 point. That's a free square. You probably get another one coming up on Friday as well. I haven't checked that one out yet, but baseball every single day. Hockey is still underway. Now, look for those great plays every single day on Prize Picks to win real money. Download the app at the Prize Picks website, prizepicks.com, and use our code KWFN. You're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup with Prize Picks. I mean, it's fun. It's easy. If you're watching sports anyway, why not? Why not get a chance to win some money as well at the same time? With Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I still am shocked that Luis Arraez was mentioned as a trade target for another team.
Yes. Would you like to hear whom?
I would, actually. I know we have to play real or fake, but
It's in the Athletic. It's New York Yankees. Biggest needs, second or third base. Possible targets, Brendan Donovan. Luis Arraez, Eugenio Suarez, which I don't think they're going to trade him. Maybe they will. Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. Favorite target, though? Luis Arraez. He'd like an offensive upgrade for DJ LeMahieu and Oswald Peraza, and can do so either at second or third, since Jazz Chisholm is willing to play either position. That might leave Arraez as the best realistic fit. He's not a great defender, but he's won a batting title each of the past 3 years, would create extra traffic on the bases for New York sluggers to drive home. I'm just not sure how the Yankees and Padres would fit as trade partners.
well, clearly the Padres are trying to win this year.
Correct.
It seems.
It's from Jim
I mean, they
Bowden.
need more
Bowden,
offense,
Bowden.
not less offense. So would they be able to find a piece that fits offensively from the Yankees that might serve them better than Luis Arraez?
Or from someone else.
I'm not saying that Luis Arraez is expendable, but you could play Jake at second and Gavin Sheets at first.
Yeah.
You know, if you had to, but then you need a DH and a left fielder.
Correct.
Could you get some of those pieces back from the Yankees? I just don't know how it works.
doesn't see how it matches up.
I don't know, but yeah, interesting. We can discuss it certainly at some point. Right now, though, it is time for today's game of real or fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for real or fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, we've got, let's go to line one. Caller, who's this?
Yes, hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, this is David.
David, would you like to play some real or fake?
I'd love to.
Well, then that's great because you're our contestant
Look at
today. You got a chance to qualify for our grand prize drawing. You're on the air live with Ben and Woods here. If you can beat, 4 out of 7.
All right,
you don't even have
relax
to
and
beat
reset.
Woods.
Take a deep breath.
7 out of 4.
3, 7,
Relax.
5, trip to Las Vegas. No, it's our grand prize drawing is the 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas, spa passes at the Awana Spa, and food and beverage credit at any of their 5 pools. Let's talk about the pools. The largest elevated pool complex on the Strip. Book your vacation now at rwlasvegas.com. As I mentioned, got a fair-themed edition of Real or Fake today. Started yesterday, 2025 San Diego County Fair, the Summer Pet-tacular. I have obtained, Woods, an official list of rides you can find at this year's fair. Today on Real or Fake, David, I will give you a name. You tell me if it's a real ride at the fair or a fake that I've made up for today's game. Pretty simple, right, David?
Easy enough.
All right. You can ask Woods for at least one phone a friend here. Let's get going. Round number 1. The Dragon Wagon. Real or fake fair ride? The Dragon Wagon.
I'm going to say real.
He's going to say real. That's correct. Let's go round number 2. Alien abduction. Real or fake?
I'm going to say fake.
That one's also real. All right, we're 1-1.
Ah.
Okay, you can still have your phone a friend. Let's go to round number 3. Creep show. Creep show. Real or fake?
I'm going fake on that one.
So that one's also real. I think it's one of those like fun houses. I don't know, here in the year 2025, if I want to send my child into something called the Creep Show.
I'll be
Creep
sending
Show.
both my children in later today, so you know.
All right, we
Creep
need to bounce
Show.
back here. We're just one ride. Here we go. Round number 4. Blitzfall. Real or fake fair ride? Blitzfall.
I'm going to say fake on that one.
And you're right. That's our first fake one of the round. So you're now 2-2. We need 2 out of the last 3, and you will win. Insomniac. Real or fake fair ride? Insomniac.
I'm going to say fake on that one.
Ooh, that was real. All right, we need to get these last 2 correct. You still haven't asked Woods, although he's not doing the nodding and not nodding like he knows any of these.
Because I have no idea.
All right, round number 6. The Iron Vortex. Real or fake fair ride, David? You got to get this one right to keep the game going.
Let's say real.
No! I'm sorry. It was fake. Last one, Woodsy, the Hog Rally.
Fake.
That's real.
Oh.
It's a kid's motorcycle ride.
Oh.
I don't know what you were thinking.
I was definitely not thinking that. The Hog Rally.
Not today, David. I'm sorry. We will have a game of Take on Woods tomorrow to try to qualify someone else for Las Vegas. We're going to take a timeout, though, when we come
Ben,
back.
where are you going later today again?
Hog Rally.
Hog Rally.
The
Have fun.
Hog Rally.
Have fun at that.
You're the one going to the Hog Rally later today.
Apparently I am.
As Hog well as the Rally. Creep Show and the Dragon Wagon.
Hit it again.
Hog Rally. Creep Show.
Creep
We're
Show.
going to talk about isolated vocals.
Hog Rally.
Yeah, tomorrow would have been great to ask this
Yes,
because I'll
you've
be
already
there.
seen it all.
Yeah, I'll make sure to post pictures of the Hog Rally later. Both my kids love that ride, by the way. The little motorcycle one, they love it. I can't wait.
All right, we'll come back. Eno Sarris from The Athletic is going to join us. They had a lot of stuff in The Athletic yesterday.
They did.
Including player polls that are out as well. We can talk to Eno about all of that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right, first, though, Woods and I want to tell you about our place to play cards. It's 7 Mile Casino. It is so easy to get to. There are other card rooms in San Diego. We're not trying to deny that. We're going to be honest with you. Most of them, though, are probably 45 minutes, 55 minutes or more away from where you live. You want to spend that time driving and driving back, or do you want to spend it playing cards in an upscale, light, clean environment that is great for anyone who loves Texas Hold'em poker, California-style blackjack, Pai Gow poker, or baccarat?
That's exactly right. I'm a big California-style blackjack fan. Love to play blackjack. Really, really fun. A great place to do it. Smoke-free and no slot machines either. So it's a place for card players. Place to you can spend really any time of day there. It's going to be great. They're going to take good care of you. You got a great view out on the patio as well. So the best part, man, it's just it's so close. It's 7 minutes from downtown, and it's upscale. Just because it's close, it could be a dump. And if it's close, it's just a close dump. This is a really, really good spot that you walk in and you feel like, all right, this is great. I can't believe I never came in here before.
Parking, you walk right
Super
in
easy.
and you're just playing. It's really, really simple. Check it out today, right down the 5 freeway in Chula Vista. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Really no new information, Benny, in the Athletic on, potential trade targets. Again, the dead horse is the guy's, he's dead. He's dead. But it's the San Diego Padres. Biggest need? Give you one guess.
I'm going to say left field.
Sure, you'd be correct.
Right.
Possible targets. Give me three off the top of your head.
I'm going to go Jarren Duran.
Correct.
Taylor Ward.
Correct.
And let's throw in
Luis Robert Jr.
He's actually not in there.
Cedric Mullins.
No. You got Kyle Stowers. You got Jesus Sanchez. Stowers, yeah. Jesus Sanchez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. from the Diamondbacks, and Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers.
Really? Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Now, the Diamondbacks, if you sweep them this weekend, they may be thinking more sell than buy. They're at 500 right now after sweeping the Mariners. You already went through Lourdes' brother, Yuli, earlier this season.
He may not be.
Are we going to try our luck with a second member of the Gurriel family?
He tries
this
mom
year?
next after that. The favorite target listed by Jim Bowden says Jarren Duran. They're trying to mix and match in left field since Profar departed free agency, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Says a more realistic trading partner for San Diego could end up being with the Angels with Taylor Ward. He's got 18 homers and 45 RBIs. But he doesn't get on base. Benny, his OBP is a paltry 261. OBP. So, but he hits bombs. He got 18 bombs. He profiles as an average type player. Well, Jim, we are well below average right now. So an average type player could actually do some good things for this lineup. So Taylor Ward, don't know what it would cost you. Feel like, I don't know. I hope he's not listening. But I feel like Perry Manazian.
That is
right.
I
feel like Perry Manazian's ripe for the picking sometimes.
I mean, that is one of the actual, it's gotten so bad that it should be fairly easy to upgrade. You don't need a good player to upgrade. You need a very mediocre player, and that could massively upgrade the position.
Taylor Ward's pretty mediocre.
And that would be a massive upgrade.
He's hitting 204, 261 OBP. Again, he's got those 18 homers and those 45 RBIs. Where would you hit him in the lineup? I have no idea. But
I mean, those are kind of like Kyle Higashioka numbers from last year. But more homers.
More homers.
And you remember how important Higashioka was last year. Now, he hasn't been that this year for the Rangers, but if they could add a Kyle Higashioka to a guy who every once in a while, like once every week and a half, hits a big home run, I mean, that can win you 4 or 5 more ball games down the stretch.
I mean, honestly,
So,
dude,
it's not the worst idea.
You may need a couple of bats. I don't think one bat fixes this lineup unless it's, Aaron Judge. And I don't think that's going to happen. But I think a couple of different ABs. Remember what the Braves did a couple of years ago? Loaded up on those guys like Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, guys like that. They loaded up. They had multiple options there, giving Mike Schilt, again, a better bench. Because the bench is important. You could put Taylor Ward in left field and he starts tomorrow against the Diamondbacks and he's an upgrade, right? But you still look at your bench and it's still Tyler Wade and it's still Brandon Lockridge and it's still the backup catcher, whoever it may be on any given night, and Jose Iglesias. I mean, that's still what it is. So you may need more than one.
And remember, keep in mind, even if you do want to acquire Taylor Ward, the Angels have won 3 in a row.
Yep.
They're tied for second place, 4 games out of first place in the AL West.
Yeah, they're not trading
They
him.
Can't give up on their season right now. They just can't.
They can't do it. So again, I don't know, man. But you do need a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. That is of utmost importance. Maybe Luis Robert is the best fit, but man, he doesn't have the numbers right now to back it up. He's got the talent.
You thought with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado and Gavin Sheets that you had guys who could hit the ball out of the ballpark. But other than Manny, lately, no one's hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
All right, we're still trying to track down Eno Sarris. One way or another, though, we'll talk about the Athletic. Either we'll talk with Eno, or we'll talk about the player polls that came out.
Love the player poll
yesterday. Secret anonymous baseball player polls. Next, after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This traffic report is driven by Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa, wishing all dads and grads a great June. Got a stalled vehicle on the Tamarack off-ramp northbound 5. It's over to the right shoulder, and yeah, that coastline ride is going to get busier as the day progresses. Second day of the San Diego County Fair. Gates open at 11. Also getting reports of a possible encampment fire near the Imperial Avenue on-ramp to northbound 5. It's over the right shoulder. Celebrate dads and grads with a new ride from Sedano Ford in La Mesa. The F-150 STX Super Crew Cab is just $299. Bronco Big Bend is $271. And the Mustang Mach-E Select, only $157 a month. For more details on these offers, visit SedanoFord.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hit it, Paulie.
Sorry, calling Eno.
I know. That's okay.
All right, here we
Hit
go.
it, Paulie.
Eno Sarris.
Boom.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark, by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, digging into all these anonymous poll questions from the Athletic. This one's interesting. Which baseball writer would you most like to see a Fish concert with? We got 12 votes for AJ Cassavell and 15 votes for Eno Sarris, who wins the anonymous poll of Major Leaguers. Congratulations, Eno.
That wasn't in there.
Oh, allegedly. How's it going, my man?
All right, we're firing on all cylinders today.
Oh, good. Yeah, you sound like who played
The
last.
wife's away, so I've got lots of things going on.
Yeah, I was like, did you go to a government mule show last night or something? So, no, you're good.
Deep full, nice.
Yes, thank you very much. Why can't the San Diego Padres hit the ball out of the ballpark and everybody else can? At our own park right now, it's getting a bit frustrating.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a part of their philosophy at the field. I think that their philosophy at the plate is hurting them a little bit. They're definitely a let it travel and hit it the opposite way, and that's good for singles. But sometimes you need to hit for power. And you can see that Tatis is kind of searching for it at the plate a little bit, trying to change his stance a little bit. And I wonder how much that hit on the forearm really hurt him, because he hasn't been that great since.
You're our favorite smart baseball guys, but there are other smart baseball guys around with other publications, including Dan Zimborski. Fangraphs, you wrote a piece yesterday called Luis Arraez has entered the contact rate death spiral. That of course caught my attention as being, well, that can't be good for the San Diego Padres if one of their players is in a death spiral. And he goes through the numbers about how often that Arraez is not just chasing pitches outside the zone, but making contact with pitches outside the zone. And he's so good at it that he's actually maybe hurting himself with his unbelievable skill at making contact with the baseball. And I don't know. I mean, there's no real solution. Dan doesn't really answer the problem. Like what can Arraez do other than maybe like see what Tony Gwynn did when he talked to Ted Williams and find a way to add some slug to your game in your later years, because the way he's trending, and I don't know if you'd agree with this, it's not a good look for Luis Arraez right now on the trend.
Yeah, and he's by wins above replacement, he's below replacement this year.
Yeah.
So the other flaws, the sort of the fielding, the base running, that sort of stuff, is starting to add up a little bit too. So yeah, it's kind of a rough go of it. But he's still valuable at certain moments in games when like anything, the only thing you need is contact. He's so great to have. So it's a little bit of a one-trick pony at this point. But guys that all they can do is take a walk or hit homers, get deals to join lineups as DHs late into their careers. So I don't know why he doesn't have a role to play in baseball, even if it's not the highest paid one. He's somebody that I want in my lineup. Now, the one thing I have noticed is that I think that he becomes easier to defend after a while, because if he's going to chase outside the zone, particularly like up and away, those balls are landing in short left in a place where I might just station my left fielder.
They're doing it. Yep, they are, because they know he's not going over their head.
Left fielder's just sitting out there.
Sitting there.
He
He's
hits what
deep
looks
short.
like he hits what looks like is an opposite field line drive base hit, but the left fielder's standing right there, ready to catch it now.
Yeah. So, I'm sure that's what Dan was talking about to some extent. And so maybe like power is relative here, where like, what if he can like just turn and burn some stuff and pull some stuff and hit some stuff to the wall? Or we've seen him hit homers to the pull side. So maybe just a little bit of pull side attention, could help a lot of these guys. I keep seeing Manny, and Manny does have opposite field power, so it might be okay. But I keep seeing him sort of slice it to the opposite field, and I want him to like really boomstick, connect on the pull side. And so in general, I would say like letting it travel has been really good for their strikeout rate, and they've strung together a lot of singles. But it also changes the way you get pitched after a while. And so I think that, this might be a great time for some of these hitters in the lineup to think, I need to turn and burn right now.
Yeah, it's wild too, because you see, and again, it's Twitter, it's online, it's call-ins to the radio show, whatever. Man, these guys got to, when they were in that mode a couple of years ago, it was these guys they have to actually, stop trying to hit the 3-run homer, man. We got to string some stuff. I mean, bro, it's maddening. It's maddening because nobody really knows what they want. Nobody knows what they want until the results are there. And when you talk about, I like Victor Rodriguez. This approach worked for the Padres last year. And my approach, I think at Petco Park too, is like, you got to barrel baseballs. You got to hit them in the gaps. And, then if you're stringing singles together, not great. Stringing doubles together is really, really good. And we're talking about, a matter of millimeters here on the baseball and on the barrel. Yeah. And it's just when everyone's going bad, for me, I don't know that I want to see Toddy up there ripping for homers right now when he's not even hitting singles at this point. I'm kind of like a break it down to build it back up guy, but I don't know much about it. What is your kind of theory? Like the Victor Rodriguez principle is gap to gap, but when they're not doing it, it just looks ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, one of the foundational ideas is like, be ready to go oppo gap on the fastball, and then you'll be early on the slider.
Yeah.
And you'll go pull gap on the slider. And that works. What I what I tend to see is that, then you kind of start slipping towards just letting it travel. And the Padres have one of the deepest contact points in baseball. And I think you're right. It's millimeters, but, I might just preach, you've heard this before. It's nothing, I'm not, the brain genius here, but like selective aggression, where
Yes.
I think sometimes you think, I'm going to go get this fastball, and I might even pull the fastball. So, and I think that comes from a lot of times is preparation in terms of counts and sort of anticipation. And so you're like thinking along with the pitcher, and he goes to fastball 65% of the time in 2-strike counts. And I don't know if that's the way they prepare. I know there's a lot of teams. I know there's a lot of players who prepare that way. There are also other players that just want to react in the box. So, it's one of those things about finding what works for every single player. And that's what's so difficult about being a hitting coach.
Last thing for me, we saw the Dodgers kind of go with an opener the last 2 days, although Kasperius did go 4 yesterday. But we've actually seen less of that. There was a trend for a while, like the Rays were doing it all the time. A lot of teams were doing it. Now there's less of it. How effective really is it? What are they trying to accomplish there with going with an opener for an inning or two?
Well, one of the hardest innings in baseball, the two hardest innings other than the ninth are the first and the sixth. The reason the first is so difficult is because their best hitters are coming up, the top of the lineup. And the reason the sixth is so hard is that that's the third time through the lineup. So what the opener does is say, hey, I'm going to use a reliever when I know the best hitters are up, and I'm going to push that third time to the lineup into the seventh or eighth, and then I can have another reliever there. And so then I'm just using my starter for 2 times through the order in the middle of the game, and they can maybe go 3 times through the bottom of the order. Like you can play around with who they see. The reason why it kind of went away, I think, is that in order to do this right, you have to have a really deep bullpen, because you have to use a guy that is good, good enough to strike out or handle their top 3 hitters. But you also don't know if you're going to win that game. And normally you use your best relievers in games you think you're going to win. So if you start just using your third or fourth best reliever in these games where, it didn't go our way, and we use Jason Adam, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You only want to save your best relievers for games you think you're going to win. And I think that's why openers have kind of gone away. People still use it, but now they started to use it with like, hey, let's use a 6th starter who's not stretched out, and let's it's almost more like piggybacking, where you have 2 guys that can go 2 or 3 innings, and you kind of combine them, maybe righty lefty. It was supposed to be Roboleski if it wasn't.
And then they never used him. We're out of time. I never heard it put that way, though, and it really kind of explains it well. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you,
Appreciate it. Eno Sarris from The Athletic. We got to take your time out, get to the top of the hour. We still have our Reindl Report. We have giveaways, more coming up next year on 97 Through the Fan. Eno Sarris has given me a couple of ideas on what we can talk about tomorrow when Mike Schilt joins us for the manager's report. Some really interesting stuff in terms of the Padres' offensive approach, which we talked about earlier today. But Eno kind of adds, some of the hard numbers to the discussion. And when he said the Padres let the pitches travel further than any other team.
Yeah, let it get deep.
They let it get deep, which is great. If you're trying to drive the ball the other way, trying to hit gap-to-gap doubles, you're trying to make contact and not strike out, all good things, says that's a great way to do it. Now, if you want to pull the ball and you want to hit home runs, you got to get out in front of a little bit more. But when you do that, you're going to swing and miss more because, that wasn't what I thought it was. I started swinging early and you got me on that one. You're taking more of a gamble when you swing early.
You remember the 2020. That's why I'm so reluctant to go back to the 2023. Everyone's trying to jack the ball out of the ballpark, except for Juan Soto, who people screamed at for taking walks every day. Well, you need to do damage. You're Juan Soto. You need to do damage. I'm going to get a walk.
He let the ball travel.
Manny comes up. Manny's trying to yak the ball out of the ballpark. How'd that go? Right? People flipping out. Now we need hits. We need to move the runners along. What do we want here? We want to score runs. We want to win games. This approach right now is not working, but I blame the players. I don't really blame Victor.
But ultimately, and I think what Eno was kind of getting at, and I kind of want to ask Mike Schilt about is, you can't really have an approach anymore because once you show your approach,
then they
talk about your approach,
they pitch around it.
They start pitching you differently, and then you have to adjust and change your approach for a while, and then they'll start pitching you differently. Maybe you go back to what your original approach is. It's a constant game of moves, one move, another move, counter moves, and moving forward. And I want to ask Mike Schilt, do you feel like other teams, knowing your guys' low strikeout rate and letting the ball travel approach, have started kind of pitching you differently, to take advantage of that? And how, what moves can you make? I think he loves that chess game of baseball.
Can I answer that question?
Yes.
As Mike Schilt? Yeah, it's a game of adjustments. That's what he's going to say. It's a game of adjustments.
And are the Padres not adjusting quickly enough, maybe here at this point in the season?
Well, so you think about,
because you don't want to adjust too fast. If something's working, it's like, well, let's give it a second here. Let's not get away with what's been successful for us too quickly.
But think about how many times this season the starting pitcher, regardless of who it is, has grabbed the ball and has walked off the mound after a 6-pitch first inning to Tatis, Arraez, and Machado. 6, 7 pitches. It happens all the time. And what do we do when that happens? What are we doing? Well, let's be patient. Let's wait this thing out, right? Like, ultimately, it's going to be on the players to make the adjustments. The hitting coach, Mike Schilt, whatever. You have the right players in the right spots for success. Seeing pitches that they can hit and do damage with, that's all it is. I mean, that's all it is. It's very easy, right? It's not. It's literally impossible almost. And at that level, I don't know how they even put the bat on the ball. But there's this approach bit of like, we got to change our philosophy and we have to change our approach. The approach is always the same. Look for a pitch that you can drive and try to do damage on it. That's it. And I don't know, man.
Which I still see people discussing the swings by Tatis and Manny from yesterday's game. And again, there is value. If you can draw a walk and keep the line moving and score runs, that's great.
That's
but
the name of the game.
In the case of Tatis in the second inning, had he taken that pitch, yes, the two guys previously had walked. Had he taken that pitch, he's down 0-1 in the count. There is no more important determining factor of how at-bat will go than 1-0 versus 0-1. 1-0, average skyrockets for the batter. You are in great position. 0-1, you are down now into the 100s, 200s. Average, plummets. So if Tatis takes that pitch, he has put himself in a really bad position at 0-1, and he may not get a better pitch to hit. Now, you never want, after 2 straight walks, you never want to chase something out of the zone. Fernando Tatis Jr. didn't chase a pitch.
No.
He had a pitch to hit. He didn't hit it. He didn't execute, but the decision there was correct. If you don't take that, you're in a bad spot. Manny, I think, has a similar reasoning. He's 3-0. And in that situation, is a walk to Manny Machado in a 4-2 game
even with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Is that the worst outcome for the Dodgers?
No.
You're still ahead.
Kind of a dub.
You're still ahead. And
Yeah.
now you got a lefty-lefty matchup with Banda against Jackson Merrill. Now,
Correct.
dangerous, but it's not the worst outcome to walk Manny in that situation. You're not necessarily going to give him a pitch to hit. And he saw one that was pretty near the middle of the plate and thought, this is my chance to change the game. The thought process is not wrong to swing at that pitch, even 3-0. Even if you think you might draw a walk in the next 2 pitches, the Dodgers are like, okay. I mean, we've seen situations where, Aaron Judge is walked with the bases loaded because, we'd rather give up the run there than give him a chance to, Manny's a different case, but he's the most dangerous hitter the Padres have right now. The Dodgers were not going to let Manny beat them. And he saw a chance to do it. He took it.
Yeah.
He took it. It didn't work out. But I think the thought process is correct in that situation.
Well, I mean, again, his numbers 3-0 are staggering. They're staggeringly great. So I have no problem with it. That's not going to surprise anybody, but I have no problem with it at all. The Luis Arraez beat was not good. Not good with the bases loaded. And I get it. Tough lefty coming at you. It's very, very difficult to do. So didn't work out, man. You move on. You got to try to reassess kind of what you're doing. You're going to run into some good pitching this weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you got to figure out how to beat Gallen, how to beat Merrill Kelly. And, it's absolutely doable. I looked at that series against the Dodgers, Ben, and I thought, yeah, you can beat these guys. They're absolutely beatable. I thought we handled their offense actually pretty well. Or, I really do. I mean, Freddie Freeman didn't kill you. Shohei didn't kill you. Mookie didn't kill you. None of those guys killed you.
Padres did something in the 2 losses that you don't see that often. They made a couple of unforced mistakes on themselves in Monday's game.
Yep.
And then, the Morejon not fielding that ball, Jeremiah Estrada walking the first guy. Those were a couple of unforced mistakes that the Padres made. And you make unforced mistakes against the Dodgers, they're probably going to beat you. You can't do that in a playoff series and beat the Dodgers. So, yes, the Padres did not deserve to win that series, but they certainly could have swept it had they played a little sharper and, come through. The Dodgers came through with their chances on Monday and Wednesday. Padres didn't.
Yep.
It came down to that, 1 or 2 at-bats. It was a very closely matched, even series. And if you want to take some encouragement from the fact that the Padres and Dodgers are right now, separated by next to nothing at this point, then take encouragement from that. That's fine.
Yep, for sure. No question. You want to talk about the player poll now?
Yeah, let's talk about the player poll.
Yes.
I like that. We didn't really get into it
No,
with
you
Eno
teased
Sarris.
it with Eno.
But then we had Eno come up, so we can talk about the player poll and some of the anonymous responses that the Athletic got. This is not a huge sample size in any of these questions, but they went through all their different questions. 135 respondents. Which player do you most like to watch play? Shohei Ohtani was the big winner with 29. Only Padre to appear on the list was Fernando Tatis Jr. Got 3 votes, but
was that from opposing pitchers right now, or
this
was back in spring training, right?
I think early in the season or spring training. Bobby Witt Jr. got 14, which is second, which is pretty cool.
Excellent to watch
for
play.
him. Ronald Acuna Jr. got 10 on that one. Pitching wise, Tarek Skubal and Jacob deGrom were 2 of the pitchers that got a few votes in that poll. That was an interesting one. Let's see. We also had, which hitter would you least want to pitch against in Game 7 of the World Series? Now, Shohei was second in this one, but Juan Soto got the most votes at 10 on 64 respondents.
Pretty good in the postseason, man.
He has, and I think when it comes to Juan Soto, while Shohei Ohtani is more dangerous, if it's Game 7, you know that Juan Soto is going to give you a tough at-bat.
Yes.
He's not going to give away the at-bat at all. And I don't know if that's why Aaron Judge, I think if you ask now, Aaron Judge is probably the guy no one wants to face at all. He got 3rd in the voting there. What pitcher would you least want to face in Game 7 of the World Series? Chris Sale got the most votes at 8, followed by Tarek Skubal. The only Padre in there, Michael King, got a couple of votes.
Miss
as
Michael
guys
King.
you wouldn't want to face.
Miss the Kinger.
I do miss Michael King. No good update from Mike Schilt yesterday.
Nope.
On Michael King, just the same old wait and see, how that pinched nerve is progressing. Now, Yu Darvish will go to Arizona and throw a simulated game this weekend is his next step, which is definitely progress and moving toward hopefully a return, at the end of the month or
early next month. So that seemed like a positive sign. They've separated these into a couple of different categories. So let me see if we can find more of the poll questions. Do you have it in front of you as well?
I got the part that Dennis Lynn put in about managers, which teams have good reputations. Padres were down. They're like 1, 2, 3. They have
more votes for good reputation than bad
7,
reputation,
basically,
which would not have been the case a decade ago.
That's exactly right. The best. The surprise, good reputations among players, bad reputations, Dodgers, Yankees, Braves.
Dodgers got 0 for
0
bad.
bad. Yeah. 0 bad. Yankees had 3 bad. Braves had no bad. Cubs, Guardians. Well, the Guardians, that's good for them. 17 respondents say good, 1 bad. But down, at the bottom, the A's, the White Sox, the Rockies, the Marlins, the Pirates, the Angels did not get 1 positive response. The Tigers did not get 1 positive response. The Cardinals only got 1 positive response.
See, now that would have been different a while ago,
That's
too.
different a while ago as well.
God, the Diamondbacks only got 1 positive response.
Yep.
They were in the World Series 2 years ago.
So then you do the which manager, aside from your own, would you not want to play for? Now, this is like, there's only 40 respondents total. So 40 guys responded to this. Number 1, tied for number 1, Bud Black, which surprised me, and Ollie Marmol were tied for number 1. Mike Schilt and Ron Washington tied for number 2. 4 respondents. Gabe Kapler, who doesn't manage, was number 3. Dave Roberts was number 4. Derek Shelton, who's not a manager anymore, and Mark Kotze also surprises me. Now, again, I think when you're answering, I don't want to play for Mark Kotze because that means I'm an athletic.
And Bud Black, the same thing. They said,
I'm
I
a
don't want to
Rocky.
play for Bud Black because I'm a Rocky.
Somebody said, this is funny. So in their own words about Bud Black, why wouldn't you want to play for him? Because he doesn't stop talking when he's in the dugout. And as a player, it gets kind of annoying. Plus, it means I'd be pitching in Colorado. Honestly, whoever the Rockies manager was, that's who I was going to say.
On Ron Washington, because I want to use my cell phone.
Yes.
He doesn't let you use your cell phone.
And this is how scientific it is. On Ollie Marmol, I don't really know many managers. I'm trying to think of someone on our division so I can just say someone. Who's the Cardinals guy? Yeah, just put him down. So again,
very scientific.
This is not the most telling of polls. And again, it's not people who are in the organization. So the 4 people who said Mike Schilt, no idea why they said Mike Schilt. My suspicion would be is they've heard him talk about his players, the way he does, and they feel like he's not being genuine, maybe when he is, obviously, you know how Mike Schilt feels about his players.
This is funny too. So some managers got 1 vote. Don Mattingly. When was the last time he managed a ball club? It's been a while.
Schilt also got 3 votes as the manager that they would most like to
Correct.
play for as well. So it's pretty much right down the middle.
John Gibbons, he hadn't managed the Blue Jays in a while now. So again, imagine being in Major League Baseball as a player and you're like, I don't know who the manager is of the Blue Jays. I've got no idea. Is it John Gibbons? Put him down. Gabe Kapler, no longer a manager, wasn't managing at all this year. So that was that. I told you about the good reputations, bad reputations. Yeah, like I said, on the Athletics, because they're cheap. On the Marlins, they have no direction. All their prospects are 17, so they're 7 years away from doing anything at all. I've heard specific things about them, like getting Subway sandwiches on the road sometimes. It's the little stuff, like, hey, man, we're in the big leagues, cheap stuff. It's $1 billion industry. Let's be a little bit better than that.
How about this one? I thought this is interesting on rule changes. Are you in favor of the idea of robo-umps calling balls and strikes? 134 respondents. Only 17.2% said yes. 63.4% said no. That was pretty shocking to me that, as much as they complain, guys seem to would rather have the human element still remain in the game. Now, we're going to a challenge system likely next year, and we'll see how that works. But they certainly seem opposed to a full, no more balls and strikes. We're just going with the robot umpires. It's going to be correct every time. They don't like that idea.
Which it surprises me. But, I think they know that they get calls too, and I think certain players get certain calls and have earned that right. And I think it happened a lot more back in the day without all the technology, man, without the box on TV, so Mr. Williams will tell you that's a strike. Don't worry about it, kid. I think, now these guys, They want it fair, but they just want it consistent. They want it to be very consistent.
One of the players quoted said, "The game will fundamentally change in a way that fans are definitely not going to like. It will make injuries and the competitive nature of the game worse. There will be fewer balls in play, and the games take longer." So I can see that if you go to a completely robotic strike zone system, how long will it take for pitchers to find a way to, master a pitch where it doesn't, like a pitch that would have never have been called a strike, some sort of sidearm pitch that ticks the top corner of the zone going away that umpires would have never called a strike, batters would have never swung at, but all of a sudden it's automatically called a strike. And now, is that going to I think that would fundamentally change the game, possibly.
No doubt.
We always hate when the umpire's strike zone is like, hey, every umpire's got their own feel for where a strike is. But that developed because, the game called for it to develop. You don't want pitches that are kind of unhittable or even don't even look competitive to be called strikes that everyone in the ballpark agrees is a ball. The hitter, the pitcher, the catcher, the umpire, everyone. And all of a sudden now that's a strike.
I love ABS.
Yeah.
ABS is great. Robo umps, maybe it would be a little bit too much, but the ABS challenge is fantastic. It's a fantastic idea, and it absolutely should be.
Well, and I think you won't challenge pitches like that don't look like strikes. I mean, you're not going to risk losing one of your challenges on something that is like barely ticking and doesn't look that competitive. It's to fix the really egregious mistakes and really big situations.
Yeah, the sliders, 2 balls off the plate. What are you talking about? I mean, Dylan Cease got a couple of those the other night, and a couple of those went against us. He was Blas Diaz was equally poor that night. But yeah, there's a couple that you would have absolutely hit the helmet.
I think of the ones that are pretty much right down the middle, but for some reason they bounce out of the catcher's mitt and the umpire gets fooled. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
It looks like a good pitch, and then all of a sudden he drops it, and you think, oh, it must have been a ball. Oh, wasn't it? It was a strike. You can fix some of those with the challenge system going forward.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was some of the results of the kind of silly anonymous polling for The Athletic. And we find it interesting, but in terms of actual valid, there's not nearly enough people that respond.
That's not. I mean, 40 guys, voting on that. It wouldn't bother me too much.
All right, before we move on, want to give away some more tickets. We've got more concert tickets to Scotty McCreery at Front Wave Arena. Get ready for a night of red, white, and you at KSON's All-American Summer Party is happening this Saturday at Front Wave Arena with Scotty McCreery, the band Perry, and Will Mosley. Grab your tickets before they're gone at AXS.com, or you can check out our sister station, KSON.com. But you call now. Third caller is going to win a pair at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Good luck. We'll check traffic, and then we'll come back with more Ben and Woods. We even have some Padres tickets to give away, and Woodsy's got the latest giveaway. He's very excited about having this finally in studio. Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you about trustandwill.com. Trust and Will is the place that we went to get our affairs in order. And I know that's a euphemism and you don't really want to think about it, but this is actually a way you don't have to think about it, because once you get it done and you get your legal documents in order, your trust or your will, then you set it aside and you really don't have to think about it anymore, as opposed to having it nagging in the back of your brain and worrying about it, Woods.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you can get off your plate. I said it the other day. There's those things you have to do all the time. You have to go to the dentist. You got to get your hair cut. You got to go get your yearly physical. You got to get your oil changed. This is one and done. You're done. You do it, you're done. You don't have to think about it anymore. And eventually somebody's going to need that in your family. So go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out. FAN, they're going to give you 20% off.
I wish I could get my oil changed and just stay at home and do it online in like 20 minutes.
Could you
for
imagine?
Way less cost.
Imagine
going in. That's essentially what we're doing.
Or
here.
just do it once and never do it again.
Yeah, it's just so much easier. Why not? Why not? Pick Guardians for your kids. Lay some things out that you want to bequeath and set up a trust to avoid probate court. All really good reasons to go to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I would say that Oakmont is living up to its reputation for all but one player today at the U.S. Open.
Still JJ?
Still JJ. So there's only 8 players. They played. Most of the morning early guys have at least hit the back 9, and some are finishing up. The afternoon wave is about to tee off. There are only 8 players who are under par in the entire field so far, and 6 of those guys are 1 under. Then there's Thomas Dietrich at 2 under through 13 holes. Who knows if that'll hold? A lot of guys are making bogeys down the stretch. Many of these guys may finish even or worse. And then playing the 18th hole, bogey free today. 4 birdies on the back 9, which he played first, and now he's on the 9th hole. San Diego State's J.J. Spaun, 4 under par, 2-shot lead in the first round of the U.S. Open at Oakmont in Pennsylvania. Not the obviously most famous of the San Diego State golfers on tour. That would be Xander Schauffele, but J.J. Spaun having a nice under-the-radar good season. Remember, he got to a playoff at the Players' Championship against Rory McIlroy, lost in the playoff, but won a ton of money in that tournament and has been having a really, really good year. His best year really on tour, and now he's got a really good chance, depending on how conditions are in the afternoon, of potentially owning the first-round lead at a major. I mean, to play this course bogey-free, and I know he had to make like a long putt to save par on one hole and had to get up and down from the fairway after he was in the church pew bunkers, but he scrambled around, made some early birdies, and capitalized, and he is currently your leader at the U.S. Open.
Pretty solid. Any other big names up there?
So, a great story, 2019 U.S. Open champion Gary Woodland is at 1 under par. Now, remember, Gary Woodland missed a couple of years. He had brain surgery and has been trying to come back from that. He's 1 under through 14. Adam Scott is 1 under through 14 holes as well. At even through 16, Ludwig Oberg, one of your picks this week when we did our picks yesterday with Scraby and Chris Ello. Rory McIlroy's at 1 over, which is not bad at all, given how tough this course is. Then, other guys have struggled. Bryson DeChambeau's at 3 over. Keegan Bradley's at 4 over. Xander Schauffele's 4 over. Patrick Cantlay, 4 over. Phil Mickelson, probably his last U.S. Open because he doesn't have eligibility after that this year. He's also 4 over par. Shane Lowry's 6 over. I picked Shane Lowry. That's not looking particularly good so far. And then you still have the entire afternoon wave with plenty of more big names like John Rahm and Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler and Colin Morikawa, of course, will be teeing off shortly in the next hour or so from Oakmont. So there's your U.S. Open update.
Thank you, sir.
I limited it to just 2. We had an early one.
That was perfect.
We had a late one. And that'll be the golf extent of my golf coverage today.
Perfect.
Paulie's going to have some Reindl Report headlines for us, including some basketball talk, as the series that was supposed to be a blowout is definitely not a blowout anymore, and we'll talk about that coming up. First, though, we want to give away tickets to the Padres Royals game coming up next week, June 20th at Petco Park. And don't forget, Star Wars weekend, and I got some giveaways coming up, too. What do you have in front of you? I know you were very excited about this.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I got the Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead, my friend. It's the one with the spinning bat, I believe.
Seen Mud and Don playing with that. That's during the Padres National Series, Monday, June 23rd. The Tatis Jr. bat flip bobblehead presented by Serve Pro. It's a City Connect uniform, 360-degree rotating bat. First 40,000 fans in attendance. That's the Monday, June 23rd game, though. We're giving away tickets to the Friday game against the Royals when the Padres get back to town next week. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Sixth caller is going to win. You can secure your seats for that game, for the Star Wars weekend, for the Tatis bobblehead game at Padres.com/tickets. We'll come back. Reindl Report, final segment before the roundtable with Ben and Woods next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, let me tell you about the wondrous beauty that is EcoWater SoCal. You hear a lot on the station here. Certainly got the EcoWater system in the Woods home, and very, very happy. I told you I saw the EcoWater truck in the neighborhood the other day. Gave him a big wave. Another convert. You go to, you start with EcoWater. You're done with everything else. That's exactly what you need with your reverse osmosis system. You get bottled quality water straight from your tap. And I mean all of your taps in your house. No more hard water wrecking your plumbing, appliances, water heater. Don't ignore that, by the way, because an entire home repipe could run you up to about $24,000. We trust EcoWater SoCal. There's no green gunk and buildup on our appliances anymore at all, on any of the shower heads, any of the sink heads, nothing. It's just phenomenal, and we get the best water. So check it out for yourself. You can try the Soft Life and alkaline water now, just $9.95 a month. You can get a free in-home water test today as well if you call 760-350-3338 or visit ecowatersocal.com. Make sure to tell them that I sent you over there. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925. EcoWater, your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
We will talk more Padres baseball coming up in our next hour, the Padres Roundtable. It'll be the three of us, joined by Chris Ello and Braden Soprenant.
So I hope you have some fresh, hot topics.
I do, actually, and I feel bad that I saved a couple of them for the Roundtable because I felt like we might.
Why would you
Why
do
do
that?
you do that?
Why do you do that? We had this discussion the other day. I came in and I said, I got something really good, really good. Should I save it for Ben and Woods off the air? And then as soon as I said it, I go, why would I sacrifice my radio show for a YouTube show at the end, that we do once a month?
I wouldn't say that I'm saving something really, really good. It's just different than what we talked about.
That sounds really,
in the
really
show
good to me.
today.
Sounds good to me.
I don't want to focus on last night's game in the Roundtable.
Okay.
I figured on the show today, we're probably or yesterday's game was going to be a main topic. I am not going to talk for another hour about whether Fernando Tatis Jr. should have swung at a first pitch or Manny should have swung at a 3-0 pitch.
Sure.
It's just
you're going to get plenty of that the rest of the day.
Yeah, you'll get that in the other shows. You got it in the Ello and Scraby show after the game yesterday. Dead horse, and we've beaten it enough. I honestly don't think anyone made a bad decision to swing. It was simply they didn't execute the way they needed to on the pitches that were there to hit. So thought we'd talk about that. We did. I saved a little more long-term topics for the Roundtable, and we will get to that coming up at 10 o'clock in our sound space. Next, though, Paulie's going to hit some headlines that we didn't get to. The Reindl Report coming up right after.
Some fast food rankings, too, that are just staggering.
Yeah, we need that to finish the show today here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Not too bad of a wrap-up for our morning drive. Just watch out for some sort of metal debris in the two left lanes, westbound King Freeway, just past Lemon Grove Avenue. Coastline ride looking good right now, but the gates open for the San Diego County Fair at 11 a.m. So I'm thinking that northbound 5 might start getting busy through the merge on up toward the fairgrounds. Southbound 5, from the looks of yesterday's commute, did not seem to take too big of a hit, but we'll see how it goes today. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Happy Thursday, gentlemen. Let's start with the NBA Finals. The Thunder were supposed to run away with this one, but Game 3 last night in Indianapolis saw the Pacers make quite a statement. They took Game 3. They have a 2-1 series lead now. They won 116-107 last night. Had most of the game going on, at least in the background last night. And the one thing I noticed, it's finally a good game. The last couple of games, while maybe a little bit close at times late in the game, you had 20-point leads and kind of teams just going on cruise control. And the Pacers had some pretty furious comebacks, but it was nice to kind of just see a back and forth, a tighter ball game start to finish yesterday.
Who won?
Pacers.
Thanks for listening.
All right.
So, a lot of people's pick
joking.
was Thunder in 5. That's definitely not happening. Jay-Z bet $1 million on the
$1 million.
Thunder in 5. That was probably my pick too.
I mean, the Thunder, like historically this year, they are one of the heaviest favorites
What's the
to
stat
ever
that
make it.
The Pacers haven't. It's gone since like before March since they've lost back-to-back games, and they didn't lose back-to-back again. They lost Game 2. They won Game 3. They keep doing that. You
I told
cannot
you
lose
last
the
week. If
series.
they win Game 1, they may win it all.
Yep, and they keep doing it. Now you feel like the Thunder. You don't want to go down 3-1. You got to win on the road on Friday to even the series up. So
It's going to be nuts, right? Pat McAfee screaming at the crowd, like getting everybody fired up.
The crowds on both sides have been really good. Yesterday, the first game of the finals in Indiana, those fans were crazy, just like the OKC fans were crazy in the first couple of games. It's been a good series. Will the ratings indicate it? No. They'll probably be as low as they've ever been with these two markets, but can't say that it's been bad. There's been plenty entertaining basketball for the first 3 games.
All right, that's it for the basket hoops. We go over to Major League Baseball. One of our favorite things is when you see the videos of the top prospect gets called up. What was the moment like? Was it in the dugout? Saw one of those a couple of weeks ago. A guy getting pulled out of the game in AAA. You see the manager's office. Hey, why don't you come take a seat? And the Nationals had some fun with their latest call up yesterday. It's Bruce. Bruce the Bat Dog has been called up from AAA. They did a full video and everything for Bruce. He got a press release. He's been the Bat Dog at AAA Rochester, and he's getting his chance to go back to the show. He did have an appearance late last season with the Nationals. Here's the video and the audio of their AAA manager in, where did I just say, Rochester? And telling Bruce that he's going to the show.
Hey, come on in, big dog. Have a seat. Hope you're doing well, man. Hey, I got some news for you. I think you're going to like it. Last year you got called up to AAA. You did a really nice job, but we still thought we needed some work down at the lower levels. We put a plan in place. You went down, you did your work. You made some improvements. And the one thing that the front office noticed, man, you're working your tail off every single day.
Literally. Oh, my God.
And you did a nice job coming back to AAA this year.
This manager's like, what?
But
You
I'm
asking
excited
me?
to
What?
tell you, the front office,
Sweet boy.
the GM, the president, the owners, they're excited to invite you to Nats Park for your call up to the major leagues on June the 14th. Congratulations.
Good boy, Bruce.
Oh,
so
sweet
yeah,
boy.
it's Bark at the Park night. It says here like I said, they did a full-on press release. Bruce earned his promotion after posting a 1,000 retrieving average in 3 appearances this season. He is just under 2 years old, a golden retriever.
It's going to be
going
rough.
back to the show.
It's going to be rough up there.
He's literally a
He's
retriever.
a retriever. Yeah, it's the job.
You ask him to retrieve.
It's going to be
It's in his
rough
nature.
up there.
Rough. Got it. Rough.
It's rough in the big leagues.
The new Prospect, they're calling it Prospect.
I liked that story, but I liked your hole filling story from yesterday.
That
I
was
thought
a good
was
one.
Better marketing, potentially.
All
Fill
fun
all
and games
holes.
until,
Fill my holes.
Bruce relieves himself. at
Yeah,
Nationals
when he
Park.
takes a dump in the on deck circle, right before James Wood is about to hit another
We've heard
nuke.
rookies can get some upset stomachs that first day in the big leagues.
Yeah, a little nervous.
Could get a little nervous.
So he's going to be up for the weekend, just hanging out.
Yeah, they have like their Bark at the Park.
And they'll fetch
day
bats and everything.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Now, if the
Pretty
Nationals
cool.
win games,
God, it makes
they're
me
gonna have to keep them up.
It makes me nervous. I don't want to see him get smoked by a foul ball or something. You know what I mean?
So just puts the barrel of the bat and just grabs it by the barrel.
Yeah,
and just carries it right off.
Do I want to Do I want a dog chewing on my
teeth
bat?
marks?
Do I? I don't know. I'm trying to think. All slobbery and everything. That's pretty cool.
No, it's funny. And then
Congrats, Bruce.
Congratulations.
Ava said
to
he
Bruce.
chases too many balls at the
He
plate.
chases. Yes. Yes.
Finally, I've got some statistics here from a company called Seating Masters. They are a restaurant supply company, so they know what they're talking about at least a little bit here with fast food and French fries.
Yep.
And they have ranked all of the best and worst fast food French fries. Probably do this every year,
They
but
do.
what they did is they analyzed over 40,000 Yelp reviews, and they only analyzed the Yelp reviews that mentioned fries. And this was across 21 major fast food chains. I think we'll start with one of the most surprising things is I think everybody thinks of the Golden Arches when you think of fast food French fries. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not your absolute favorite, but most people are going to go, oh, McDonald's.
Mickey D's fries, elite.
Second worst, 20th out of 21.
What?
Second worst?
Only place worst, according to their data here, was KFC, which I didn't even know they had fries.
I had no idea.
The other in the bottom 5, it was Popeyes, Church's Chicken, Burger King, McDonald's, and then worst was KFC. I thought that was fascinating.
Burger King is falling off a little from our youth. Remember how good a Whopper was when you were a kid?
I think it's unfair to compare different shapes of fries against each other. They're all their own thing. Like a waffle fry, you can't compare it to a McDonald's fry.
Well, what has waffle fries?
Kinda
Other than
can.
Chick-fil-A.
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 Curly fries.
Curly
are
fries.
totally different as well.
They are.
Jack in the Box.
How
has
does
some
I don't
curly
understand
fries.
this poll? If Mickey D's is 20 out of 21,
Again, they're going off of
Orders
Yelp reviews.
or Yelp reviews.
They
I don't
analyze.
think they've been as good though. I've had a couple lately. I steal. Sometimes my kids get them, and I call it fry tax. I steal.
Got to pay the fry
as
tax.
dad.
Yeah.
You steal like
Dad
one or
tax.
two from each one. Yeah.
I got a whole banana pudding yesterday
Yeah.
for dad tax because he didn't want it.
And somehow I've gotten it to the point where both of my boys just accept it. Like,
Yeah, of course.
without fail. Like they even offer it now. Like is it
Here, take
like
it
an
and get
offering,
away.
Like here's your tax. Just take it and go with your fries. But
So what's the
I don't know if
best?
they've been quite as good.
The best. We can start. I'll go quickly from the bottom.
You don't have to go quickly. We have like 8 minutes.
Okay.
You can go
Number
slowly.
10, Checkers or Rallies. Checkers/Rallies.
Been a long time.
Number 9, Hardee's, which I believe is also Carl's Jr.
Okay.
The number 8, very shocking, Arby's.
They have curly fries that are pretty good.
I guess
Yeah,
that's true. Okay,
yeah,
I'll
curly
give them.
fries are
I'll give them
pretty
that. Haven't been there in God knows how long. Zaxby's, never even heard of it.
Love
Don't know.
Zaxby's.
Is that a Texas?
No, I've never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't know where to find it.
Number 6 was Raising Cane's. Number 5,
Pretty good. They crinkle cut.
they got the crinkle cut.
Oh, I like crinkle cuts.
They're soggy whenever
They
I've
do.
had
They
them.
get soggy.
Crinkle cuts seem a little unnatural to me. I don't know why.
It's just the way the thing. It's what they put the potato through to cut it.
I know.
Crinkles.
I know how they make them. It just doesn't feel right.
Do you know what a scrum is?
That brings us to the top 5. Number 5, Chick-fil-A, the waffle
Delicious.
fries.
Waffle fries.
Pretty good.
Bojangles, number 4.
Nope.
Have not had them.
No idea.
No.
Number 3, Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers.
Been to Freddy's.
all
They're
right.
very, very thin. Almost like
too thin.
Almost like toothpicks.
I don't like
really.
those. It's how they serve them in France a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really thin.
Thin.
Tasty though. They're not bad.
Says here, Freddy's known for their thin, crispy shoestring fries, and they came in at number 3. Number 2, Shake Shack.
Delicious.
More crinkle cut, right?
Delicious.
Expensive though. Well, I mean, you got to compare apples to apples, and when
We're talking French fries. We're not talking about apples.
I know
right
we're
now.
talking about French fries, although they do have apple fries some places.
The hell's an apple fry?
You
What
never
is
had
that?
those at Legoland?
No.
Yeah, they're like
Never been to
fries,
Legoland.
except they're made out of apples instead of potatoes.
Much better for you.
Not that much.
What?
I mean,
Apples and fries?
still fried and
Oh,
covered
it's
in
fried.
sugar. Yeah,
I thought they were just
No,
like
they fried
shaped
them. No,
like
no,
a fry.
they
fry them.
fried them.
Oh, then forget it. Yeah, not that much.
I mean, like if you went to, I don't know, let's throw out a Cowboy Star and you ordered a
Yeah.
steak free, and you're paying, the side of fries is $12. It's different than when you're paying, $3 for a fries at a fast food restaurant. You got to compare, and Shake Shack is more expensive than these other places.
It's also delicious.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not, and it could be worth it to you. but I want to be fair. We're
All right.
comparing fast food.
Well, that leaves just one more spot here on our top 10.
It can't be.
It is.
It can't be.
It's not Wendy's, which wasn't even on the list. It's In-N-Out, number one. Got the number one spot, and it says here they got a 3.86 out of 5
crazy,
based
man.
on 7,500 reviews across 25 different locations.
They really are
And-
cheeks, dude. They are. They're cheeks almost every
No,
time.
But here's the thing.
They're
No,
the best
they're
fries.
cheeks.
They're the best
They're
for-
cheeks.
if you
For
eat
2
them
minutes.
immediately.
For 2 minutes.
For 2 minutes, they are the best fries. And then after 2 minutes is over,
They're just ass.
Like,
they're
you
pretty
can't-
unedible.
You can't even.
They're inedible.
You can't even go through the drive-through and drive home.
No, you're done.
No,
you
no,
have to
no,
eat
no,
them
no,
in the
no,
car.
no. You have to eat them right away
You have
in
to
the car.
go in or
Don't
eat
even
them
take a bite
immediately.
of your burger. Every fry must be consumed instantly.
You have to.
Everyone
And
in the
then they're
chat
the best.
is
They
saying
are.
get them well done. That could probably help the lifespan just a little bit.
If they, I tried
Our
that
chat
for
is
a
going
while, but
ham. Ham right
the
now.
well done, you almost like the potato is gone.
I know.
It like cooks it.
It's
and
like
you just
crispy. I don't.
It's just too crispy. So you just got to trust that they do it right. You got to eat them right away, and I think they're really, really good when you do that.
They're so bad though. If you drive to your home, if you live 1 mile
You're
away,
screwed.
you're done. You might as well throw them in the garbage. But the burger is outstanding. It's outstanding. Maybe people are swayed because the entire package is so good. You give them a higher rating because the burger's so good and fresh and
Yeah.
juicy. and-
I'll give you a little pro tip. If you are taking your In-N-Out home, driving through, and you're bringing it back,
Bring your air fryer with you and run it while you're in the car.
ask for a box with a lid. And when you put them in the bag, it gets all steamed in there and they get worse. If you have an open lid, like you're eating it in the car, the heat dissipates and it's gone. But when you say a box and they put another box
didn't know
on
that.
top of it, it doesn't steam as much, but it stays warm a little bit longer.
Jax in the chat says, I'm not looking for a flaccid texture. Yeah, that's exactly what you get with In-N-Out. They're
agree.
flaccid. But man, those burgers are really, really good. They're really good. They're elite. Elite.
That's tough. I don't know how I would rank In-N-Out because I agree. I do believe if you're like in line and you go inside and you sit down and you eat them right away,
It's fine.
I think
they're
they're
good.
great.
You got
I
to
think
salt
they're
them
really,
up,
really
though. Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty good. You can get them. They're still not as good as Mickey D's.
They
though.
actually taste like potatoes, which
They do.
I like. I want them to taste like potatoes.
Yeah, fair enough.
They don't taste processed. They taste real because they are. They just
And
don't
it's-
last very
And
long.
I feel like you saying this, but In-N-Out is so affordable. It's so affordable.
Yeah.
I take the kids after we go. Our tradition is after Little League game. It's right there.
$20.
Bro, everyone, you what do you want? Double, you want to shake? All right. $21.95. I'm like, what? It's a family of 4. Like, you guys could double this right now, and I wouldn't even think twice. It really is. The kids love it. Like, you know,
go to
you don't feel like
McDonald's.
you don't feel like a total scumbag after. I feel when I go to Mickey D's, and I have not been.
Combo meals now are like you
They're
get a
like
number 5. They're like
$14.
$14.99. You're
I
like,
haven't.
What the hell?
I have not eaten a morsel of McDonald's in months, and I mean months.
Does anyone actually use the lap map that they try to hand you in the drive-through?
No.
I've
No.
never tried to use. I just decline it. No
But
lap map for me.
After I leave Mickey D's and I eat it and I drive home, I'm like, I feel like Robert Kraft right now. I feel like Robert Kraft at the Delight place that he went. That's how I feel. Driving home, looking over my shoulder, going, I feel like Robert Kraft. I did something incredibly wrong. I don't feel that way when I leave In-N-Out. I feel fine.
No, you can't like live at In-N-Out.
You can't eat every day.
But if you're gonna go anywhere,
once a week or once a month or whatever, like I don't. When I leave McDonald's,
I'm probably
I
on the
feel
one-
like
I'm probably on the once a month, and very rarely any other fast food place. But I'll do In-N-Out about once a
I
month.
had some friends that work there in college, and they're like, "Look, man, like they're replacing the vegetables like every couple hours. Like everything is super fresh."
Let's go eat some round table pizza.
Let's go eat some pizza now. Fried Talk right into our Roundtable Pizza Roundtable. It's coming up next. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Ben and Woods Friday edition with Mike Schilt tomorrow morning from 6 to 10 a.m. For Paulie Reindl, Stephen Woods. Talk to you in a moment on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.